We are going live.
The most questioning going live.
Yes.
We are going live?
Yes, we
Are
are in
we?
fact live.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Fancy being here.
It is March the 16th, 2024.
Dun 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 dun. Tonight on Two Guys Talk Tech. I have no idea what we're doing.
We're going to talk crap for the next 4 hours.
No, we're not.
Yeah, no. We're going to talk
Maybe
crap
two
for
and
the
a
next...
half hours.
Hello, everyone. How are we all?
I'm immediately going to leave and go, why are these lights on?
Oh, I see. Well then. I was filming things. I was making the YouTube videos. You got to turn the remote. Oh yeah, you got it.
I changed the color temperature instead.
Great.
So
now
now
I
it's
have
all-
to fix everything.
Yes.
I don't. My setup isn't that precise. Yeah, that one doesn't work on that remote. It's very annoying.
Is there another remote or do
No, I just turn that one on and off manually.
Okay.
So yes. Hello everyone. How's it going? Yeah, we are here. And yes, there's no plan, so we're going to be fixing. I'm going to fix some stuff. Nothing super exciting, but everyone seems to enjoy what I think is not very exciting. So you know that's cool. That just needs updates and stuff. So yeah, just keep it going through updates. So yes, right. I'm going to start reading chat. Seems strange starting an hour later in the US. Yes, yes. Daylight savings time is stupid for everyone involved.
It's not that time, eh, chaps?
No, yeah, exactly. It's just a pain in the ass.
I mean,
There's going to be someone out there that's just like, actually, it's very important because of this. And I'm like, fine, I guess. I'm sure there's 10 people in the world for whom it makes a difference, and they probably could just reschedule if they actually wanted to. You know, like when everyone goes, oh, it's for farmers, it's like they could just get up at a different time or go to bed at a different time. They don't need the clock to say 5 a.m. when they get up. They could just get up at 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. if that's when the sun comes up. You know.
very well.
Yeah. Serious question. Who actually needs daylight savings?
I don't know.
But yeah.
I remember there being a study about the number of heart attacks around the ST and things like that. It was interesting. It was interesting corollaries.
What, as in the change of time stressed people out or something?
Yeah,
Huh.
and like stuff like that. And it was just, okay.
All right. Hello, Sai. Patch is back again. Is Patch one of the cats? Hello
Yes.
from DK? Is that as in hello from Donkey Kong or hello from... Did we decide DK was Denmark?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I believe they decided that DK was Denmark, but you know,
Maybe.
we are not the arbiters of such things.
Hello, JD. Imagine Graham making videos before a Tuesday morning. Yeah, well, I don't have anything... Well, it depends, actually. Did you watch the keyboard video?
Yes.
What do you think? Honest question. I think it's too long.
That to have any input on it, that I need to watch it again.
Okay. Right.
My general thoughts were, this is a very standard Graham video.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is neither a good thing nor a bad thing, simply a commentary on the existence of it.
It's typical. Yeah, yeah. The keyboard that we were working on last week, the video is
think-
edited, but it's 50 minutes long.
I think you could cut out all of the video of you lubing switches, because none of it's particularly good.
The problem is, yeah, I could probably trim it down. Yeah, I'll trim it down.
You could basically cut all of it out and only have one of the things where you're sat at your desk at home instead.
Yeah.
Because I think the one you did on your bench, 3/4 of the time the switch is out of the frame anyway.
Yes. Yeah. I'll adjust that. I think what my plan was to do one more editing pass on it, basically,
Yeah.
and basically just say, right, editing pass. I must take 5 minutes out of this video, whatever it takes.
I mean,
5 minutes has to come out of
the
this
switch
video,
lubing
you know.
saves you 5 minutes.
No, it wasn't that long.
I was watching it at 2x. It felt like it was 10.
well, therein lies the problem. You know, when if you're sort of yeah, like, I mean, any video that is 50 minutes long is going to have some get on with it moments, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the problem is if you take out footage of me doing stuff, then the entire video is just me waffling to the camera. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to keep a balance of. There was an attempt. I'm trying to keep a balance of me waffling to the camera and me actually visibly doing something, you know. So yes.
Oh no, my sessions, they have been timed out.
But we'll see. Going through, it made more sense when chains were more important and the time schedules. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, spare the loop. Trains. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're not allowed. Yeah. They're cancelled.
Yeah. Do you have children? Do you want them to go to school in the morning in the dark? I mean, we live in the UK, man. It gets dark at 4 p.m. in winter. Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't entirely understand.
And also, like, even in winter, you know, it's.
But also, like,
it's more.
LED torches exist.
I suppose.
It's no longer relevant.
Yeah.
Would be my concession.
Yeah.
With the advent of indoor lighting.
Yeah.
It has become less relevant. With the fact that, you know, people.
Also, streetlights are a thing. I don't know, but I don't have kids, and I don't have kids that go into school. So yeah.
The fact that we no longer go to bed at sundown, wake up for a midnight meal, go to sleep again, and then wake up when the sun comes back up. Because we no longer do that, it also becomes less relevant.
Yeah.
And just, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'm uncertain as to particularly what problem it is resolving, but also a case of it is something that happens all the time, and I'm amazed as to how much time and effort people put into being pissed off by it.
Yeah.
When they could just get on with it.
Well, that's
given
just...
that clocks and stuff change automatically.
Yeah, I mean, it's not... Yeah, that's not... The reason why it annoys me is my gaming group is North American. So I stay up late to game with them as it is, and while most of them are around from the early evening, which is when I catch them, but some of them who I do want to game with now and then, they're not available until like 7 p.m. their time, and by that point it's like midnight my time kind of thing. And when the clocks go forward at the end of the month, I'm going to be another hour ahead, which means just it's going to be even harder for me to be able to catch them kind of thing. And I'm like, so it's, from my perspective, I'm just like, well, I guess I'm going to bed an hour later for the rest of summer now. So, in order to be able to hang out with them.
For 2 weeks, until our clocks change.
Our clocks are going forward.
Right.
So
and theirs have as well. Therefore, the time difference is exactly the same as it was before theirs changed.
Does all of America have clock?
All of the northern parts, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's only some southern states that don't.
Yeah.
As far as I understand.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I'm not some chronologist.
Yeah.
I'm also not an Americanologist or anything like that, so I couldn't be 100% in my attestations.
I don't like change.
However, as far as I'm aware, basically all of the northern states do it.
2 to 3 states don't do it.
Therefore, as an approximation, out of, 50.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, so the video coming out on Tuesday, I need to try and knock 5 minutes out of that. So I'm going to take a swing at that this weekend. Then, there's another video to do as well. And then tomorrow, I'm going to shoot the A-roll for the GK2 review.
Your internet's broken.
Yeah, it's...
You need to fix your broadband.
Yeah.
Damn it, Graham.
Oh, did you bring me a SIM card?
No. Because you haven't given me the codes yet. And I need the codes.
But I sent Pack to the number that you told me to.
Yeah, and then have you told me the codes?
Oh.
Did you read the message?
No. Well, I thought you would.
I need the SIM card and the codes and to be in the office so I can contact 3 to transfer the stuff around.
Well, I didn't know that.
Which is why when I said send it to there and then give me the code, I meant send it and give me the code.
Oh. Hold on a sec. Okay, well in that case you can respond to that message then.
Do you know your date of birth?
But it says the account holder's date of birth.
Yes, and who is the account holder of the
Obviously,
account that you are sending a text message from?
Of the thing. Okay, so
Who is the account holder of the telephone that I'm
I thought
holding?
it needed to be the account that I was moving to, which is. Caradog's put me on the business mobile plan. Okay, right. This is what you guys came here for. I'm going to try and fix something in a minute because this is excellent banter. You know? Right. I can figure this out. Right.
I can figure out what my own date of birth is.
Message. This will cause your... Oh, okay. Imagine being charged to send a message. All right.
Well, it's because it doesn't know whether you've got an unlimited text.
Yeah, I know. It's just weird sending SMS, you know.
How do I do the
All
TCP/IPs? Like that.
Oh my god. Right. Oh, that's a really long message. Oh my god. Oh, okay. I'm doing this later. I'm doing this. Doing this later. Right. Okay.
Apparently, yes, it appears that your router is not broadcasting, that it is actually the access point.
Interesting. DHCP on my router's buggered. So yeah. So we're having to set the YouTube rig. I did a release and renew on that this morning when it wasn't working, and it just picked up an IP again. Like, so I kind of bullied that into work. But yeah, I think the router's killed, so I need to change the broadband. All right. I'm going to find something to fix. Broadcast SSID, yay or nay? I say yay, because hiding your SSD doesn't hide it from anyone nefarious.
And also it means that any devices that are connected to that network are constantly broadcasting that ID. Therefore, in actuality, hiding the SSID is in fact less secure because everywhere you go, you are broadcasting that SSID saying, are you around? Are you here?
Yes.
Are you here? Can I connect to you? Are you here?
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't considered that. Yeah. But the main thing is, like, the most trivial Wi-Fi scanners will show hidden SSIDs. So, yeah. Basically, it's just a case of it doesn't matter. Like, I guess if you want to hide from your neighbors, then sure, but like your neighbors aren't breaking into your Wi-Fi, man. Who cares? So, yeah. Okay, right. Probably because you have a million devices with IPs. I mean, I've tried rebooting the router but yeah, whatever. It's getting changed soon anyway. Right. Considering I'm internet-based for the channel baffles me. Wellybob says, considering Graham is internet-based for his channel, it baffles me that he doesn't have the best broadband available and router. Because it's expensive, man, and you don't actually need the best, you know. Like, at the end of the day, all I'm doing is uploading videos, and the best broadband is 3 times the price of what I'm paying right now. So it's just like, if you don't actually need it, you know.
It doesn't actually give any.
That's it. It doesn't.
benefit.
Yeah, increasing the speed of my broadband doesn't actually make my job any better. Like, sure, some computers might be able to download Windows updates a little bit faster, but the download speed isn't what is slowing down most repairs. Most computers doing Windows updates are taking ages to install them, not download them.
And also, if you're sitting there waiting for it to do updates,
you do something else.
You've got something wrong with your workflow.
Yeah, yeah. If you're watching a progress bar, then that's a problem with you, not the progress bar. And like even now, we're streaming now, and I mean, we do want to do experiments with streaming at high bit rates, but also there's not a huge amount of benefit to it because almost even if we did start doing like a 4K high bit rate stream for the sake of science, probably about 2 people would actually be watching it at that bit rate. Everyone else is watching windowed on their second monitor kind of thing. So yeah, it's more of a matter of, it's like, no, I'm not paying for extra because I don't need it, basically. So yeah.
It's also a case that also just for the issues that you've had, having fancier equipment wouldn't have changed any of the issues, because like for one of the issues, the service was just down for this road for like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
The other issue was the router has failed.
Yeah.
Every piece of hardware fails eventually.
That's the thing. Like I've said it before, like I have a very vanilla setup for the broadband here, but credit where it's due. Apart from 1 or 2 instances in the past years I've been with BT, I've only had 1 or 2 instances where it's gone wrong, and expecting 100% uptime is just not realistic. So yeah. In your area, 1 gig is about 30 quid. Yeah, if you're in like
if you're in an area serviced by an altnet, absolutely.
Absolutely,
But it's
I'd
also
agree
a
with that.
case of
There aren't any around here though.
having a 1 gig connection doesn't actually change the reliability of it.
No.
If
However,
that makes
if there was gigabit broadband available here for 30 quid, that would be a no-brainer, and I would question why I don't already have that. But yeah, gigabit broadband for me is probably going to cost like 70 or 80 quid a month, I think. So yeah, although it is coming down, I think I can get like I can probably get like 400 down, 70 up for like £35 or something like that now, which is what I'm going to switch to. Certainly I can get more speed for the same amount that I'm paying for right now, so I am going to switch. And I need to do that as soon as possible because I'm switching all of my utilities over at the moment. I've been changing electric providers, I'm changing my phone provider because I'm paying way too much for my phone, changing broadband providers, and I'm probably going to end up saving about £50 or £60 a month just by updating all of my utilities.
I can't sign into your BT account anymore.
The
Password I have no longer matches.
Yeah.
So I can't just force you.
I mean, if you want to do it, I'll share the password with you. But yeah. Let's see. Ba-da-ba. I'm on the main monitor at least. I'm important enough to JD to be on the main monitor. This is very good. So yes, do I run VLANs and bandwidth shaping? Nope. I probably should, but...
Why? For what purpose?
Well, I mean, running VLANs for anything that is customer-based makes sense, just to keep customer stuff isolated from all of my stuff. That makes sense as a good practice thing. The reality is it's never been an issue. You could make the argument that a bad actor could come in posing as a customer and plant something nasty as a repair job in the shop that I might unwittingly like connect to my Wi-Fi and it's got a worm on it or something like that. But like we're getting a bit. You could say that's tinfoil hat.
I mean, that feels solidly outside the realm of actual probability.
Yeah. So that's why I haven't done it. But also like this is something that wouldn't cost me anything to do. So
yeah,
it's something that I will do at some point.
You'd need a different router.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I would need a different router.
Which certainly, when you were last looking at the broadband stuff, would have been a pain because there were basically no suitable fibre modems for the UK network because the UK was like, LOL, what are standards?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to go. I'd get the ISP router and put that in bridge mode to a quote unquote actual router. But yeah. Let's see. Mancave Hobby says, "Are any of us going to buy the Apple Vision Pro?" Absolutely not.
I like it in concept.
I like the technology that's in it, but as a product, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And Apple have just hobbled it to the point where it doesn't have a reason to exist.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
They are so like they are so tunnel visioned into this is not a VR headset. Like VR as it is a very niche product, and at this point they've made their product to be a niche within a niche, to the point where it's just this. What is this for? What is this actually for? And that's really the conclusion that certainly the people who I have, like MKBHD and Linus Tech Tips, they both came to that conclusion where they're like, it's cool, but what's it for? What am I going to use this for? The only things that it's possibly good for are very first gen, and the tech in it, like the what do you call it? The hybrid vision, the pass-through vision, and all the rest of it. Everyone's saying how the pass-through vision of it, astonishingly good. The displays, unbelievable. It's got amazing tech in it. But for what? What do you do with it?
VR chat?
Nope.
Why not?
It's not a VR headset. It doesn't run VR chat.
What do you mean it's not a VR headset? It's not a VR headset?
There are no VR games for it.
What do you mean it's not a VR headset? The hell is it?
That's exactly it. In Apple's wording, you will not find, it's not a VR headset. It's spatial computing.
But if I do a Google search for Apple VR headset, Apple's website comes up first.
Yeah, but they're not. If you ask, Apple will not tell you it's a VR headset anywhere.
But if I do a Google search for Apple VR headset, they have done the SEO to make sure that their page comes up first.
Yep, but there's no VR apps.
I see. So they continue to be disingenuous.
Yeah.
Understood.
But that's the thing. Is just there aren't any VR games. It has no controllers, which also just massively limits the things that. Like, I understand why it might not have controllers out of the box, but like, there's no plan for any controllers for it.
One thing I did hear, that mode where it has the multiple windows and devices and stuff. Someone did that, and they were saying, because they had one of the headsets supplied from somewhere, and they were saying like, I was doing like 2 days worth of work in 4 hours because of the setup, and then crashing because I was doing 2 days of work in 4 hours.
Interesting.
Kind of thing. And I did that for like a month.
Yeah.
And now I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they were just like, the level of productivity I reached with this headset was godly. And I'm amazed.
Yeah.
And like, I saw a couple of people commenting on that on Twex.
Yeah. Although again, the problem...
And I was just like, interesting. Certain people may find massive use for this, but then also...
But, the example that Linus Tech Tips did was, when they were talking about that, he was like, oh, this is cool. I can have lots of floating windows around me. Then he went into their editing den where one of their editors had like just a 6-monitor setup. And he's like, but also I could have this. And, this editor can just like look at someone and talk to them and show them what's on the screens. It doesn't like... If absolutely having lots of windows and stuff can increase productivity and stuff like that, but so does just a multi-monitor setup, and just that's the thing. It's just I haven't seen anyone that can actually find a reason for it to exist other than being a tech demo. I think if Apple actually just bite the bullet and say, okay, it's a VR headset, now it can do all of the things that VR headsets can do, which means at least it'll be a cracking good VR headset. But it's not a VR headset. They won't let it do VR headset things.
The other thing as well is it shows people like doing iMessage calls and meetings in it, but the other people in the meeting don't have the headset on. So the other people in the marketing don't have a headset on. So is it saying that when you join a meeting, Apple will use AI to remove the headset from you so you look like a normal person?
No, you have a digital avatar.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying, based off of their advertising, none of the people who are calling me, the wearer of the headset, have this headset. Therefore, they think it's dumb.
Yeah.
Even in their own marketing, the other people aren't using it. You, the weirdo on your own, are.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
And again, it's just, this is the problem. It's just like what they've done is on a technological level amazing. But there are just, there's just better, but the problem is just there are just more human solutions to every problem that they're trying to solve with the Vision Pro. And I think that's the term here.
That's horrifying.
Yeah. I hate.
Good Lord.
I really hate using that fancy, like a more human solution. That sounds really anal and everything. But I think you guys can understand what I'm inferring with that, because that's the issue. Is just wearing a VR headset is inherently antisocial. There's no way around that. And like apparently the whole virtual eyes on the front thing is actually pretty crap.
It's also. That's not a good photo.
Even if it worked as well as they advertised it to, which it doesn't. Pretty much all the reviewers said, it doesn't look anything like the marketing material. Even if it was that good, wearing a VR headset is inherently antisocial. So it's like...
It looks amazing. Like these product shots are super slick and look so good.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed that it's not amazing.
Yeah.
Because I want this.
Yeah.
This thing in these photos here, which are the up close macro product shots, I'm like, oh yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Look at that wonderful glass. Aren't those fittings and knurlings wonderful? But I'm also like, as a product, it doesn't really work.
No,
it's
because
so disappointing.
That's the hilarious thing. As slick as it looks, you ask any VR user, and they're going to be like, "No, I don't want a glossy front because it's going to get scratched to hell whenever I put it down." Because like when you take your headset off, you don't want to have to go. You want to just put it down for and things like that. And apparently, and also. A lot of people confirmed.
Like microfiber cloth.
Yeah, it's very front. It's not the heaviest headset on the market, but it's front heavy, and everyone has confirmed that it is not comfortable to wear for long periods of time. Not that you will, because the battery life sucks. Even with the massive portable battery, the battery life sucks. Yeah. And it's just
Vision OS, Apple's first spatial operating system.
It's very, very frustrating. Yeah, it needs a killer app. It doesn't have a killer app.
This to me feels like a symptom of what to me has been wrong with Apple since about 2016, 17.
Yeah.
To a degree, because as I keep harking back to, when we unboxed that
the iMac,
from 2003,
4,
I was like, this
is exciting.
Is incredible.
Yeah.
What went wrong, Apple?
Yeah. I can only imagine that they're just trying to get in ahead of the curve. Because, like, I think it's naive to believe that VR will never take off. I'm not going to pretend that VR is mainstream or anything like that. It is a very niche interest and it has limited uses. As a VR enthusiast, VR has very few uses.
I think that's reasonably well proven by the fact that I don't have one.
Yeah.
As well.
That's it. However, I think it's naive to think that VR will never, ever be mainstream. And I think Apple are
I don't think it will be mainstream.
Not without some kind of pivotal shift. And I think that's what Apple have tried to do. Like, don't forget, Apple managed to make video calling mainstream. Apple managed to make AI assistants where you talk to Siri and stuff mainstream. And previously people thought that saying, Siri, take a message for me, talking to your phone, but everyone thought that was dorky and stupid. They've managed to make a lot of things mainstream.
How was that the best press shot?
Who is sitting looking at their friend through a VR headset being like, yeah, I'm socializing you with my VR headset on. This is the problem. It's just I think there is a world in the future where VR will not be a niche thing, but we're decades away from it. We're a decade away from VR being mainstream. We are decades, plural, away from it being socially acceptable to sit in front of someone wearing a VR headset.
I can't see how it will ever be socially acceptable.
Neither can I, but
because
also...
it's not socially acceptable to sit in front of your friend like this.
Yeah.
And my face isn't covered up.
Yeah.
and this isn't socially acceptable.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's just
I don't. Yeah, no. I also dislike the fact that I can book a demo
yeah.
as though it's car pricing.
Well, this
because
is
it is.
Yeah, and I think this is also what frustrates me is I think they tried to go big or go home or something like that, but they've done all of this. They've got some very interesting tech in there, but they've done all of this with so little actual practical use, and they've got the gall, they've got the balls to ask £3,500 for it. You know, for the base model. You know, it's just their arrogance astounds me. You know, and this is the thing: is there is technology in it that is unbelievably cool, but what planet are they on where they think this was the play? You know, I don't know. Yeah. TKE says the company I worked for bought the Microsoft glasses years ago for architects and paid $5,000 USD for them, whereas the crap they get and were crap as they did not support anything. Yeah, it's just there are some really odd niche cases for this stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what Apple is banking on.
I can see them selling a few of them to Pixar.
Yeah.
Because with a custom package on there, doing 3D modelling in one of these is probably going to be amazing for Pixar animation and stuff like that.
Yeah. But that's not even what they have. I think if they had at least said, it's a VR headset and it will do everything that the other VR headsets can do, that I think would justify its existence, because then even if you think all of the other stuff is dumb, you know, the eyes on the front, the virtual calls, socializing with your family with a VR headset on to video your children instead of actually being in the moment kind of thing. Even if you think all of that is done, at least it would be a top-end flagship VR headset. But it's not a VR headset. It does not do any VR stuff. I cannot play Half-Life Alyx with this headset.
The hell's the HomePod?
And it's just, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm baffled. I don't, you know. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, Apple arrogant. That's a feature. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they sold those 2K iPhones. See, in a way that kind of makes sense because it was an established thing. But just again, even the most steadfast reviewers have looked at the Vision Pro and been like, yeah, it's neat, but no, it's not become part of my workflow. It's not something I'm going to use. You know, I don't know, man. Yeah. So yeah. Right. While we rant on things, I'm going to grab a laptop and start replacing the screen in it, because I know I've got a screen replacement to do, while we find something else to talk about.
Yes.
So yes, throw some more stuff at us, people. I'm not going to back scroll the chat because I'm lazy. But yeah, I don't know. I do like the fact that they have driven the pass-through vision stuff forward. Like, I think there is some technology in it that is astonishing, that is very exciting. I think I'm almost just sad that technology that good is now locked inside a product that is useless. You know, maybe that's why it annoys me, because there is stuff about the Vision Pro that is genuinely incredible, but it's locked inside a product that has no practical use to the majority of people. You know, there's going to be someone out there that's just like, this is perfect for me. But yeah, I think for the vast majority of cases, there are just better solutions.
Yeah, but now the things exist, people can
515.
steal it.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I mean, the Meta Quest 3 and the Quest Pro apparently have got very good pass-through. It's not on par with the Vision Pro, but they're going to be ripping apart a Vision Pro and going, how do ours needs to be as good as this? How do we make ours as good as that?
Yeah.
And the answer will be, Not for a reasonable amount of money, probably, but hopefully there'll be some trickle down there.
It's the thing that absolutely astounds me is that the pass-through on VR headsets isn't as good as the camera that I have in my mobile phone from 5 years ago, kind of thing. And I'm just like, how is that the case?
Yeah.
The SoC from 5 years ago, plus the camera from 5 years ago, doing video.
Yeah.
Why is that not a thing? If they were honest and partnered with Pornhub.
HP Asus, that's not it.
From what I got, it's perfect for Pokemon Go.
I mean, it would be, yeah. Yeah. Right, where's this heckin' Asus?
Is it the one that's there? Doing
No.
Windows updates?
No. I put that one down somewhere. Oh, hang on a sec. Is it actually...
Is it the one inside the 3D printer?
Yeah, it's over here. Oh, it's over here already in pieces.
Okay, it's not the one inside the 3D printer.
The Asus inside the 3D printer. Oh, right, yes. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. That was a MacBook.
That was 4 MacBooks.
Maybe. 4 pieces of MacBook. But also the 3D printers are not storing things anymore. Except when they're 3D printing. Right. All right, this one's not terribly exciting because it's already in pieces, but yeah. This was a busted screen, so I'm just going to put a screen back on this thing and reassemble it, I guess. So.
What happened? Just the actual panel get
screen just died.
smacked.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think it's cracked. It just died. Yeah. Because if my memory serves me, I couldn't see. Yeah, no, the panel isn't cracked. It just doesn't work. And there's going to be someone who's just like, oh, there'll be something on the board. I'm just like, oh, a new panel is 40 quid. Who cares? Just put a new one in. So
can you actually buy decent panels, like second hand? Not second hand. I mean non OEM volumes. Like
possibly, because having mentioned that, this is a BOE, which is the same as the one that's come out of it.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah.
I meant the fancy panels that come out of the high end elite books and things like that.
It seems that way.
Actually IPS, actually wide viewing angled.
Yeah, I've replaced panels on gaming laptops before with like 144 hertz panels before, and when I've searched, I've seen that it's a high refresh. I'm like, oh god, how am I going to find that? But bashed it into eBay and it just popped up with one, and it was just like, yes, this is a 144 hertz panel. I'm like, cool.
Does that mean I could then put that 144 hertz panel in a laptop that didn't come with it because EDP?
I don't see why not, because EDP. Yeah.
EDBD.
Oop. Right.
Flop.
The shelf of shame. Oh no.
Oh, in other news, I've asked a company to give a quote for taking everything out of his shop.
Oh, I see. Thanks. Part of me is just like, well, thanks, I guess. You're on your way to a solution for me. And the other part of me is just like,
because
makes me feel bad. Yeah.
Because I know the owner, and they'll do it for like pennies on the pound.
Oh, I see. Yes. Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I'm slightly less offended now because it's based on connections. So yes.
And funnily enough, they were commenting. They were just like, "Oh yes, no, don't take it to your local tip. They'll charge you a lot for that."
Oh yeah.
However, we operate that tip.
Aha! I see. Right, I'm going to check the alignment for this because we got caught out by this the last time I was doing it.
There is a cable that.
Yeah, this isn't a permanent fix. I'm just checking bezel alignment. Yeah, basically center it and we'll be fine. Whoop. Are we placing bets on the new panel not working either? I generally don't have a lot of problems with that, broadly speaking. Yeah, now and then I'll get a bad panel, but faulty LCDs are pretty uncommon for me. I did get a faulty MacBook Pro panel the other day, which was very annoying because the job was running late already, and then the panel arrived and was faulty on arrival. And the customer walked. They were like, "Oh, you've taken too long," and I'm like, "It's faulty parts, man. I can't control that, you know." Very frustrating, but just sometimes it happens.
Yeah, arguably, to my point, you kind of go to a person, "Terribly sorry, the parts are faulty."
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm not charging you for the faulty parts.
Yeah, that's it. You know, I apologised to them, and I said, "Yeah, sorry, we couldn't get this done, but just it's unfortunate that this happened, but also it was completely out of my hands." So yeah. It's I'm not, because that's the problem, is angry customers are always expecting you to prostrate yourselves on the floor, and I'm just like, well, yeah, this is unfortunate, and I'm unhappy this has happened because I now have not made any money, and I now have a panel that I've got to send back. This is not what I wanted to happen.
Yeah.
But also, there's nothing I can do about it. Otherwise, I would have done it.
Yeah.
But as I say, fingers crossed, touch wood, panels that are faulty on arrival are pretty uncommon. So yeah. Yeah, MacBook displays are the only ones you'll fix when faulty. Anything else is a waste of time. I agree with that, yeah. Cable didn't look damaged. I don't think, no, the cable did, the cable looked fine. Because I remember I checked, because a lot of, well, I was trying to think.
Pardon?
I was going to say, this specific cable was actually in good condition, because quite often, annoyingly often when I order MacBook screens, some idiot in the factory somewhere has written in pencil on the display ribbon cables, like a date or a checked or something like that, onto the actual display ribbon. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? And like most of the time those have worked, but this one didn't have that on it either. Otherwise, I would probably call that out. But yeah, more than one occasion on the display ribbons, someone has drawn in pencil like a signature or a checked or something like that. And I'm like, why would you do that? There are so many other places you could draw on this if you need to put this was checked. Why would you write on the ribbon cable? It's bizarre.
What? That makes no sense to me. Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. I've taken pictures of it at some point, but I'm not going to try and find them on stream now. But yeah. I tried to, every time I see it, I take a picture of it, just so if the panel is faulty, I can be like, yeah, some idiot wrote on the cable, so it's faulty. Please send me one that hasn't been scribbled on. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, TFT says, don't make me start with this and idiots destroying very expensive equipment in that way. Yeah. Ludicrous.
Yes. Talking about probably ludicrously expensive stuff. There we go. I can speak
90s hip hop sensation Ludacris.
Ludicrous.
Well, it's Ludacris, I think, but I'm enunciating it to indicate that it's
Sorry,
a play on the name Chris.
I was about to say Ludicrous sounds like a really bad knockoff stripper name.
Concern.
Anyway.
Continue your story.
I was going to talk about the 480Hz WOLEDs again, just because I'm excited.
Yeah, sure. I'm not excited about them. I don't really care.
Yeah, because I'm just like, progression, we're getting there.
Yeah,
the gaming, the stupid TN gaming panels can die.
Yes, but also just getting people onto just 120 Hz OLED would also just completely annihilate the TN market.
But I'm just like, good, it's all there, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess...
And I like the fact they're coming in 27-inch and 32-inch.
Yes, so I'm very happy to see more 27s coming out, although... Yeah. Are they 27 1440p or are they 4K?
Yeah, no,
okay,
1440p.
yeah, that's good. Because that's the thing.
1440p at 27-inch and then 4K at 32-inch.
Yeah, that's good because that's the problem. I was a bit worried about, because you don't really want to go over to 4K at 27-inch, I don't think.
It's ever so slightly the wrong size.
Yeah, exactly.
You want it to be 26 inches so you can run basically at double pixel scale.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm quite glad that we're.
Or you want 5K at 27 inch so you can run it 200% scaling.
I was
sort of thing.
Yeah, I was worried that no one was going to bother making 27-inch 1440p panels, which I think is just honestly the sweet spot. Because also, like, the problem is when you're driving at 4K, you're not going to get anywhere near to the high refresh rate that these panels can do anyway. Whereas at 1440p, you've actually got half a chance of getting into the hundreds of frames a second.
Yeah,
So
also at the same time, 4090 goes burr.
Yeah, but
The 4090 already exists.
We don't-
It's already 2 years old.
yeah, we don't all got 4090s though.
No, but
know.
the 5070.
Yeah, we need an overhead cam. Yeah, I'll get the I'll get the overhead cam just while I'm doing stuff, just so people can see me actually assembling things.
Because imagine most people keep monitors for 10 years.
I suppose, yeah.
8 years, 10 years.
Yeah,
So 480 hertz, 4K, given the fact that, certainly a 5090 is going to be able to walk that.
yeah, that makes sense.
It's a case that will be mainstream reasonably quickly. That level of power.
Yeah,
So I don't think it's entirely unreasonable to kind of go, I want my monitor to be much faster than my graphics cards are. 'Cause it's also a case of if you play an old game, you can just be like, LOL, all the frames ever.
yes, yeah, that is true. Yeah, future-proofing is a dangerous word, but there are some cases where it very much applies.
Yeah, well, not even necessarily future-proofing, just kind of a case of having the monitor not be bottlenecking the rest of your components, quote unquote.
Yeah,
Just because the monitor is the thing you buy least often.
yeah. Right. Face cam with bench.
I don't know, Muerto. It was something that was arranged by someone on the Discord. The mugs.
Which we talk about like these yeah.
Ah, wait, hold on. There's coffee in there. Never mind. Taking bets on the panel not working, especially not after it's got coffeeed.
That'll do. That's good.
These are my locating noises. I
Look, I have to make noises for everything. It's just what I do. Just because I always make noises for things because A, my dad used to do that, and B, it fills dead space. If I'm sitting here and I'm just not saying anything, I'll make noises just so I'm not just silent. Like there is a method to it. There is a method. Right.
So about that 14900 KS, hey chaps.
Yes.
The 33% increased power usage for 3% performance.
Oof. Yeah.
No, I don't think it was that much. I think it was 20%.
Can you tune that out though?
I mean, you can probably make it only 10%.
Yeah, because like
For 2% more performance.
yeah, because this is the thing. When we were overclocking the 13900 KS the other week,
Yes.
like when we were going hard on it, what power were we actually hitting? We
low 400s. I
Oh,
think.
really? Were we-
I think I got it to high 400s.
Oh, okay.
On the Sunday.
Yeah,
On the Sunday when I was doing some stuff, I think I got it to the high 400s.
yeah. Do we reckon we could screw like actual stock speed out at 280 without it being horribly throttled?
On that one,
Yeah.
probably. Just about. Because
Yeah,
that one
'cause it was
seemed
good
to
silicon.
that one actually seemed to be reasonably high quality silicon.
Yeah.
The issue, as far as I can tell, is it's only about 2% of models are sort of that good.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So they need those voltages because so much of it is meh quality
Yeah.
by comparison.
The reason
that
why
it doesn't scale to that.
Yeah, the reason why I say this is that I had a snotty YouTube comment on the video where I was straightening LGA pins most recently. At some point in that video, I was talking about power consumption and stuff like that, and I made notes of how I was like, Intel are not okay because power consumption, lol, 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 lol.
Yeah.
And some butthurt Intel fan person left a comment saying like, saying words to the effect of, oh, actually, it doesn't use that much power. It, you know, the AMD 7950X can use even more power. It's just because of OEMs are overvolting the chips on default board setup. Intel spec is XYZ.
It's also a case of
and I'm
because
like,
they have to overvolt it for that to guarantee stability.
yeah, and that's the thing. And I'm like, there's a little bit of truth in that comment. I feel like
It feels
yeah.
like Intel. It feels like, and this is entirely supposition with no evidence.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's not supposition.
Oh, yeah, hang on a sec. The bench is bumping the camera stand slightly. There we go. Also, the bench will wobble anyway. So
It feels like I'm making this up off of no evidence. There we go.
Okay, yeah,
I couldn't think of the words I was looking for.
yeah, yeah,
But it feels like Intel doesn't have the margins in production or in the actual design, or it doesn't have the manufacturing margin or the fiscal margin to be able to bin the very bottom chips down.
yeah.
Therefore, they have to grossly overvolt to make those bottom bin chips perform as the higher bin,
Yeah,
effectively. And I think that makes the problem look an awful lot worse.
yeah,
And I think if you had a, even just bottom 97% chip, you could probably take a reasonable percentage of the power out. The problem is they don't have the fiscal margin or the manufacturing margin to bin off that bottom 3% sort of thing.
yeah,
I think that I feel like that's what part of it is. So it's a case that it makes everything look worse.
I think it's also a matter of like, you know, because if we say, okay, well, are AMD any better? And it's like, well, actually, I think you'll find that, you know, if like this person's argument was that if you run the Intel chip at quote unquote spec, so, you know, you effectively you tell the board, don't overvolt this chip, run it within spec kind of thing. I'm like, well, if you do that with the AMD chip, you're probably going to slash the power usage as well. So, you know, I don't think that's a fight you're going to win either.
Yeah, also, I think that just because there is single chiplet design across all products, AMD is able to be more selective in their binning, which means they're slightly tighter on that voltage, which
Yeah.
means that the spec and what the board runs at are very much closer.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, yeah, there has to be, you know, to an extent, there has to be a reason why the boards are choosing such gross overvoltage by default. You know, like there's probably a lot of chips that would quite happily run at a lower default voltage. However, the fact that Asus et al. Decided that they needed to run those default specs obviously means that they felt that was necessary. But yeah. QA stability. Yeah, like they must have gone through testing and found, like, yeah, that on average you need to run this to make sure that they're all going to do it. It might be that, like, you know, 50-60% of chips will run lower. But yeah, they obviously have to they have to default for the lowest common denominator.
And yeah, and I think it's a case of because each Intel CPU costs so much more to make, they can't afford to bin off those ones because then it blows out the margin and means they lose money per sale, effectively. I haven't got actual numbers from anything else, but from the only Cinebench run I've got a screenshot of, we did 363 watts on that 3900 KS.
Yeah, that's fair.
At 5.8 gigahertz.
Yeah. I was basically just curious as to how far over spec we actually went, because I know for quite a long time we were sitting at fairly reasonable power consumption considering we were overclocking,
Yeah.
which would suggest that with very minimal effort we could have slashed stock speed power consumption.
Yeah, it's also a case of from what we know of the history of that chip it was a specifically bin.
It was a high bin.
Yeah, it was a specifically bin, specifically selected overclocking sample, effectively.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we were looking at best case scenario anyway, effectively. But yeah.
Munch boxes, Chris.
Yeah.
All the munch boxes. And the worst whiskey you can find.
There's a Jack Daniels joke in here somewhere.
Luckily, that's bourbon, so it doesn't get to tarnish the whiskey name.
Right.
That's 294 munchy boxes. Excellent.
Oh, something's wrong there. Back out, back out, back out. Damn it. What's wrong with you? Oh, weak source. Okay.
Have you put the hinge in wrong?
Yeah, I'm pinching the display. I'm pinching the webcam cable. Thankfully, it's not a big deal to just take this hinge out. I would say this is a very forgiving assembly, but also I'm just like, oh yeah, this a break at the drop of a hat. So you know, balls. I need some tweezers. Tweezers.
Yes.
Do. Closing without testing it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, as Arnold says, confidence. Call it confidence. Call it foolhardiness. Yeah, whichever you want. I think the reason why I'm willing to close this without testing it is because when my colleague disassembled this during diagnostics, we tested a different panel on it and got a picture out of that panel. So I know that it does just need a new panel. If we hadn't done that test, I'd be a bit more paranoid. But I know that this just needs a new panel, and I'm gambling that this screen is going to work. So, right, is that going to sit flat now? There we go, yeah. This corner wasn't sitting flat because it was on the cable, so it wasn't clicking down properly. And when you're putting display assemblies together, it is critical that things are positioned correctly. If the cable is not in the right place, then it just won't sit flat and you will have a bad time.
That's not English.
Oh, Chris. That Munchie box was good value, but more expensive than I thought. When we were talking about these when I was playing Mirror's Edge, you posted a picture of it, and I had it in my head that was going to cost like £10 or something. It was like 20, but it was still a lot of food for 20 quid, I guess. We've got a flattened clip there, that's why it doesn't want to sit down. That's unfortunate.
We no longer have a flattened clip.
No. That happens sometimes, but also there's a screw hole right next to it, so that clip is of zero consequence. Damn it. I have just immediately spat on the screen.
Delightful.
Yeah, it'll need cleaning anyway. It's very rare to put a screen together and not actually put fingerprints all over it.
I enjoy the fact that with that stream only of overclocking the 13900, I ended up in the top 150 in the world on HardwiredBot. I was like, oh, there aren't that many active people, eh?
Yeah, well, that lends some credence to that person that came in and was just like, HardwiredBot's not relevant.
Like,
and then we immediately responded by getting super defensive about it.
out of 210,000 people.
Okay, yeah, that's decent, yeah.
But at the same time, that's 210,000 people total.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, in 10 years.
Yeah.
Or however long.
It was also even more funny when we were both in here on the Sunday afterwards, and you were just literally just scrolling through Hardware Bot, going like, "While I have this ridiculous computer in front of me, what records can I demolish?" You know. Firestrike with a 4090, sure thing, you got it. You know.
Like, what weird hardware combos can I do?
Yeah.
Look.
13900 KS on Cinebench version 2. Sure thing, you know.
No. I did do Super Pi 32 million.
I see. So for those of us not in the UK, is that your favourite cider? That's a good point, actually. We need to bust out the cider.
Is what our favourite cider?
That's a good point. Oh, no. Oh,
Weak.
weak. So the little screw cover was just stuck down next to the hole, and I just used my fingernails, intending just to bump it free, and it just went and just disapparated. I'm going to have a quick look for it. Right, my favourite cider. That's difficult to say. I don't think I have an absolute favourite.
No,
For a sure thing cider that I will never get bored of is Stowford Press.
from a bottle.
Yes. Because, you know, that's a reliable cider that you can find anywhere. You can find it in most supermarkets, etc., etc. Actual favourite ciders are fairly neat, sort of low volume ones. Like you'll find them at local breweries and things like that. So I would say those are my favourites. Stuff like Badger Brewery Applewood, which is one of the local ones around here.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought about Badger.
Yeah, Applewood is very good. Even though Badger don't specialise in cider,
Yeah.
you know, Applewood is cracking.
Lily's cider.
Oh yeah, Lily's is nice. Yeah.
Hogan's.
Yeah, the Hogan's was good as well.
Yeah, the Hogan's elderflower one was pretty good.
Yeah, there were quite a few in that mixture that we did. We should have written down.
The Hogan's Perry was pretty good.
Yeah. We should have actually made a running note of our favourites from that Hogan's selection. Damn it. Okay, I'm not finding that now. I will find another solution to that.
Oh dear.
That's going to require me to find a tiny bit of plastic from somewhere, cutting it to size and then fitting it.
I didn't think, and I spelled cider SYDER. And I was like, I've been infected.
C-Tech.
Yes. Good.
3D printer, it's too small for that.
Have you got like the shiny black felt tape? Not the felt tape, the sponge tape. Can you just cut a square of that out and just go?
Yeah, effectively. Yeah, there's various things I could fashion one of those up with. It's just annoying. It's now just another job to do, and I'm not going to do that right now because
Sour cider.
Yeah, sour is a thing, I think. Right, let's carry on reassembling.
Yeah, no, I'm now just looking at Hogan's website.
I see.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
ciders.
I'm going to bust out. Yeah, do you want a cider?
PT Deep and Smoky. Oh boy. Yes,
Deep and
please.
smoky. That sounds good. Right, we've got. Oh, there is another box of the Stowford left.
Hogan's Thirst Quenchingly Golden and Earthy Medium Cider. I see.
I'm going to carry on chipping away at the Blackthorn.
Excellent. Light and fruity classic Perry.
I'm giving Caradog the good stuff because he's fussy. I'm not fussy, so I'm drinking the Blackthorn. Which is no offense. The Blackthorn. I've been enjoying the Blackthorn actually. This is Blackthorn is very it's very cheap cider that's very meh, but also I kind of don't mind that sometimes because it's just sometimes I like a cider that's just a trashy cider out of a can. You know, sometimes I don't really care what I'm drinking, and the Blackthorn fits that bill really nicely. This is as opposed to Strongbow, which should just never be drunk at all. I will clear my drains with Strongbow.
Yeah. That's not terrible. You can buy 10 litres of this cider, which is 17.5 pints, for £33. It's not bad.
Is that like delivered?
No, delivery
Yeah.
will be on top, but just like as a concept, I'm just like, oh, that's not bad. It shows how much of the cost is still in the bottling and so on.
Yeah, yeah. It's also interesting because if you were drinking cider on a regular basis, it would probably actually be extremely affordable to just order box cider directly from Hogan's
Yeah.
instead of having to buy it from a supermarket and incur all of those costs. And no doubt Hogan's probably make more money when you buy directly from their website than through a supermarket.
Rich, decadent, and bittersweet.
I see.
Libertine cider. Interesting.
There goes the Strongbow sponsorship. No.
Oh,
I'm not super fussy, but every now and then when I have Strongbow, I'm just like, oh my God, just why do people drink this?
I've got the perfect one for you.
What, high sobriety?
Yeah, it's only 1%.
Yeah, the high sobrieties act very good. I also just I love the names of the Hogan's ones. They're really good. Tree Hunter says nick a screw cover from another screen. That's not a bad idea, actually. If I rummage through the breaker pile, there'll probably be one.
I might buy some of
Bald
this.
says black insulating tape. The thought had occurred to me. I just didn't want to say it on stream.
That was what I was
Yeah.
trying to describe and couldn't think of any
Yeah.
of the words.
So yeah, there'll be a solution to that. Kind of annoying. This is a modern laptop and it's still using those on there. Yeah. I don't know why they bother. All right. Put that there. Let's put this back on the laptop.
That's good.
God, I hate Asus laptops. Look at this nonsense.
Can I have a bigger battery, please?
Yeah, just. I described a laptop as heartbreaking on a video, and I actually got kickback for that. You know,
isn't that Asus's tagline?
heart touching, yeah. But also, it's just like,
Heartbreaking.
yeah, like this is a modern laptop, Core i3 something, I don't know what, but it's just like the fan's over there somewhere. You know, like there's an air guide along these white lines. You know, on the back cover. They have an air guide, so it's actually, you know, forced airflow. But that's just going over there to this tiny thing over here, and there's a single DDR slot, and just
Is there some soldered DDR?
Maybe. Let's have a look. I don't think so. If there is, it's on the other side of the board. It wouldn't surprise me if it's single slot. I'm going to just check how much this is actually. And like the battery, you know, 37 watt hour battery. Just like, come on.
That's nearly as many watt hours as I have in my phone.
Yeah. Oh, we'll never know what the thing is because they're... Oh, there we go. Oh, God, it's 4 gigs of RAM. 4 gigs of DDR4.
I seriously hope there's some RAM soldered to the board.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like, if I start this up and there's 4 gigs, then that's going to be a case of, yeah, I should actually upgrade this, because 4 gigs is not enough. It is just not enough. And again, this is a modern laptop. It's got an NVMe SSD in it. This doesn't have the excuse of being an older laptop. This is modern. I'm just... Ugh. Other side likely has DDR soldered. It might do. There might be soldered DDR on the other side. Yeah. We'll hold judgment until we've actually booted it up and checked. But yeah. I hate modern laptops. I try not to be... I really hate being that guy that's just like, they don't make them like they used to. Rah, 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 rah. But just... When you see stuff like this, you're just like, man, modern laptops are trash. Well, modern consumer laptops. I mean, I guess you could buy crap consumer laptops back in the day as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I see.
English. Microsoft did not increase the minimum system requirements, going from 7 to 8. That feels like a mistake.
I mean, they need to increase the system requirements for Windows across the board. Well, I say they need to increase the minimum requirements for OEM installations or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, like, I'm not, because the problem is, if you increase the minimum increase the minimum stated increase the minimum spec, but don't enforce it. So so what I mean by that is, if you're a custom builder, you can build with whatever you want. So all the people that want to install Windows 11 on their Core 2 Duos, fine, go ahead, enjoy. However, if you're an OEM and you're buying Windows licenses and selling them on a pre-made computer, you must meet this spec.
Yeah.
I think that should be the rule. That you can install it on anything, but if you're selling an OEM licensed computer, it must meet the minimum spec, and the minimum spec needs to actually be real. And right now, the minimum spec should be 8 gigs of RAM. Because 4 gigs of RAM on Windows 10 and 11 is not a good user experience.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Especially
the
if
rant
you,
is strong today. Yeah, it kind of is.
especially if you don't have dedicated graphics. Because 4 gigs with integrated graphics. So you've
Yeah.
actually only got
Well,
3.8 or
I was going to
something.
say, that's actually a problem with a lot of the Ryzen laptops. I am seeing a lot of Ryzen laptops where the Ryzen integrated graphics are eating another 500 megs of RAM, and they come with 4 gigs in them. So you actually have 3.5 gigs of RAM on a modern laptop. Like,
why are they
I'm
only
talking like a
coming with-
2023 laptop.
Yeah, why are they only coming with 4 gigs of RAM? That's my question.
Yeah, that's my point. And I'm like, it's not acceptable. Because people come in with these laptops and they go, oh, it's only 6 months old, it's ever so slow. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Who thought this was acceptable? But
It also,
yeah.
we also need some. What was the Windows 7 and possibly also in Vista performance metric thing?
Oh, yeah. Ugh.
That thing. We need something like that for single-threaded performance from Microsoft. We need to say minimum spec for OEMs, it must get X in Y benchmark. Single
Yeah,
thread.
like-
just to get rid of all of the N400 blah blah blahs.
Yeah. Also though, like the Windows Vista performance score thing. I know.
Yeah.
What was the name of that? Anyone who?
Experience index?
Yeah, Experience Index. I think that was it. Yeah. Can anyone confirm that? Like, it got
There
a
you go.
lot. Yeah, Windows Experience Index. Yeah. It got a lot of hate for being just not very good because, for example, it was very simple to max it out, for example. But I think Microsoft's heart was in the right place with that. They were trying to find a very basic way of quantifying if a computer was good or not. And yeah, I think their heart was in the right place. I think there is room for an improved version of that
Yeah.
actually allows a customer to run that on their computer, and then if they get a 1 out of 10, actually go back to the shop and say, this thing's a 1 out of 10. What the hell?
Yeah.
And actually say to the shop, you sold me this laptop and it gets a 1 out of 10. What have you got to say for yourself?
Yeah.
And then the shop actually has to answer to that, because that also means that shops are actually driven to not sell junk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it should be based off of something like Limpac or SuperPi or something like that.
Yeah.
Something actually meaty and hardcore.
Yeah.
And just be like,
I didn't plug the battery in.
why don't you work? Oh yes, the battery. And then, excuse me. And then use something like Superposition or 3D Mark, to give a graphics score and things like that.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be particularly good. It just has to
I mean,
be.
it does.
Well,
though, because
it just-
we're building today for GPUs that come out tomorrow,
Yeah.
and we're expecting 20% performance increase each gen.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
true.
So it needs to rate everything today as a 2.
I guess, yeah.
kind of
Well,
thing. That's
sorry,
the problem.
my point being, it doesn't have to be competitively accurate in the same, we don't need Gamers Nexus levels of product comparison here. We need,
No,
it
no,
needs to be
but-
an idiot test.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it should be based off of one of those things because those things are actually hard.
Yeah.
it should be based off of something hard. That means modern devices today only get a 4 sort of thing.
Yeah. The battery is flat on this. I'm going to find a charger.
That sort of thing. But also just a case of it needs to scale each generation kind of thing,
Yeah.
Like this is, the 2023 score, and then when the test gets refreshed in 2025 or something like that, it should then be the 2025 score. So, so your score should be something like 24.5 or something like that.
Yeah. Bold says, I agree. It pisses me off that I won't be able to install Windows 11 on my AMD A10.
Why?
Actually, I'm not sure if you're joking or not, Bold. I need you to confirm this because I will be judging
you. I need you to confirm that you're not using one.
Yeah. All right, this thing is powered up.
I'll post you an FX4. It will be faster.
I mean, the A10 wasn't terrible.
I'll post you packets in the mail. They will contain the packets of the website you're trying to load. They will be faster.
The A10 wasn't terrible. There we go. There's post. Can I spam into? Yes, I can. Total memory. 8 gigs. It does have 4 gigs of soldered RAM. And there was 4 gigs soldered in there. That's fine.
Good.
So yes,
I guess
it is not as terrible as initially expected. So yes.
That screen is pretty, isn't it?
I mean, it's not an IPS panel, so
it's pretty.
Yeah, I have not bought it. I fitted an equivalent screen. I always.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. But I'm also just like.
Yeah.
Allow me to put my 2013 laptop next to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing that still annoys me, is the fact I'm just like, oh yes, this 2012 laptop.
It's getting better, with the exception of not all the brands are getting better, but I think Dell are pretty good for putting not shit panels in their laptop these days.
I think I just have too high expectations.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I expect this to be reasonably standard today, because we're fucking 8 years on.
Yeah.
No, we're not. Oh no, we're 11 years on.
Yeah.
No.
That's the thing. My 2014 MacBook Retina is a decade old.
I don't like this.
Yeah. I want to talk about something else now. Yeah.
The 90s were last decade.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult. Mash keyboard for soldered RAM BGA to come off. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not a fan of soldered RAM. So yeah.
I am a fan of soldered DDR5 when it is soldered like 7800.
Yeah,
that's the time I'm happy for it to be soldered, when it's the obnoxious what the Jesus is this bins.
Yeah, and it's literally kissing the CPU core. Yeah.
Those ones I'm like, yeah. Funny enough.
I'm curious as to how hard wearing stuff like that will be, because that is kind of the future at the moment, unless Dell managed to do their weird proprietary thing. But yeah, I saw I had a Dell XPS in fact it's still in at the moment for other reasons, and it has one of those wild triple die Intel chips where it was a massive hecking chip with PCH, CPU core, and discrete graphics die on it.
Oh, it's one of the AMD ones, yeah?
That's it. It was an Intel CPU with the AMD integrated on it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Are they bad then?
Slightly.
Oh, no. Well, it was one of those.
They have approximately 0 driver support.
Ah, yeah.
Which was the problem, because Intel said, we're handling drivers, and then didn't. And then Intel turned around and said, AMD should have been doing drivers, and AMD went,
you said you'd do it. It's your chip.
It's your product.
Yeah.
And then I think at some point Microsoft stepped in and said, fine, we're doing a driver. So at least Windows functions.
Yeah. Good, this works. We're done with this. I'm going to put the screws in the bottom. Why do I have this many screws there? Oh, those are all case screws. It's fine.
Also, something can Vega die now, please?
Yeah.
For the love of all that is holy, please.
But the Vega 64 was good.
It was! A decade ago! That's my favourite thing about AM5 so far.
What, that it's new?
There's no fucking Vega APUs.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So it means we can dump the entire Vega driver stack issues for the APUs, and just the APUs will be magical again. I'm just waiting for, like, what are they going to be? A62 boards?
As in the A series.
The A
chipsets.
series for
Yeah.
the A720, whatever the ones that come out end of this year. Basically, I'm waiting for good ones of those, and
Yeah.
then I'll upgrade the Office PCs.
Apropos to nothing, I got an email from the vendor asking if I wanted to review these boxes.
Yeah, I see.
I was like, well, I wasn't like, I didn't respond to it. I'm like, no, you just...
Like, not as a dedicated video, but like,
Yeah.
I'll feature them in the videos.
I was like, come on.
Please give me another 10 of these boxes.
Yeah. They're very good for storing screws in. There you go, they get that for free. I could recommend these boxes for storing your screws in. The little compartments come out, so you can take 2 compartments out and then put the NVMe drive in there and stuff. They're actually very handy. However, I'm just like, yeah, no, I cannot with yeah. I mean, I suppose I could have just integrated it into other videos or something and been like, sure, send me a pack of them or something. Because they're like £3.50 a pop or something like that on Amazon, you know. But still, it was very funny though.
Are you over 18? Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah, this is for cider websites. I was like, what are you doing?
I'm continuing to look at random ciders and just be like, yes.
C-Tech. It's going to be a while before that stops being funny to me. And I need to add context.
Especially because it annoys Si.
Yeah, I'm going to need to add context to this. So, 2 weeks ago, when we were away, what do you?
I'm sorry, this cider, its name, it tickled me.
Stony Bonk. For if you've decided to have a hot beach date, but it's a UK beach, so it's a bit shit and it's all pebbles, you know. So, so 2 weeks ago when we were away, it was we went to see Si over in Essex, innit?
We went to see Si at the seaside.
Yeah.
We went to see Si at the SeaTech.
Yeah, and so we bashed into for last mile's navigation. Caradog had bashed SciTech into Google Maps, and the lady voice when giving directions was just like 1 mile to SeaTech. So yeah, it's now SeaTech. Kent, you donkey. It's all the same. So yeah, London.
In it.
All right, 3 you in size phone box. This laptop is ready to go. I guess I should make sure. Yeah, I'll make sure it actually boots up.
SeaTech.
Make sure it boots up, then I'm moving on to something else.
SeaTech computer despair.
Right, and I'm going to tilt the screen just so you guys can't see customer data if it appears. Aside from the one screw cover, yeah. I'll stick this on my bench over there in a minute just to remind me to look at it again on Tuesday before I call the customer. Is that box ESD safety? I don't know.
However, they're screws.
Yeah. Right. Well, all that being said, that is not a Windows loading screen. It has had a BIOS reset because the battery got disconnected, so it might be that
The battery light is flashing.
I think that's just critically low. It is getting power though, although it might not be charging because I think I'm trying to run a 65 watt laptop off of like a 20 watt charger or something like that. So that might have something to do with it. Please enter BitLocker. Ugh. What model is the Asus? This is an F515J. All Asus consumer laptops are just bad, though. I mean, I don't particularly like the ROG laptops just because I don't like gaming laptops, but anything that actually has Asus written on it, in my experience, is just bad. Yeah, I've never. I don't think I've ever seen. I suppose there's like some of the Vivo books are less than awful.
There are a couple of Vivo books that look to be reasonably good.
Yeah,
just
a lot of them look nice. Like the design looks nice. It's a slick laptop, but that's just not a lot. But the build quality is bad. The cooling is bad.
Yeah.
They're often horribly underpowered, and it's got a tiny battery in it, and just bleh.
Yeah,
just very uninspiring.
I was looking at getting one of the Vivo books a while ago when I was looking at laptops.
Yeah.
Just because it was a little 14-incher with an OLED screen and like an i7 in it and stuff like that. So I was just like, fine. And it was like 400 and something pounds. And I was just like, oh.
With an OLED screen, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, 400 and something pounds?
Yeah, what CPU did you say it was?
Some i7.
Oh, with an i7 in and an OLED screen for 400 and something pounds. That sounds like a steal.
I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't get it in the end, just because I was just like, I have acquired a MacBook.
I see, yes. All right, this thing's gone to sleep.
Does it need to just sit for an hour and work out who it is?
It's not the first time I've had this. It's not the first time I've had issues like this with an Asus, where you turn it off after a bad startup and then it just doesn't want to go. Like right now, what the hell is it doing? The power light is just flashing now and then. Is that coming out? Yeah, you see that. See that little flash now and then? What is it doing? And like according to the Chipmunk, it's still on.
Ooh.
I mean, that might just be power saving.
Ooh. Selectorama boxes.
Am I going to have to take the battery again?
I thought you were going to say, am I going to have to take delivery of more cider? And I'm like, yes, you are.
Low battery? Yeah, it might be actually.
Don't mind me.
I might just see if I can. I'm going to just check if I've got any adapters that fit Asus, just so I can actually plug this into a 65 watt charger, because it might just be pissed off because it's got an undersized charger.
What is your postcode again?
SP78EL.
Thank you. A damn man tit.
Lenovo. Oh, that might fit. Lenovo chargers usually fit Asus. I think that's a no. I'm going to try it anyway.
What state are you in? I am in the state of England.
Right, we have a solid charge light. I'm going to hold down the power button again. Die.
Potato.
Okay, right, it's actually turned off this time. I think it didn't like the charger. There we go. Yeah, it posted first time. Yeah, it's booting now as well. Yeah, I think it just didn't like the charger. I think the laptop was stuck in I don't have enough power, but also I'm turned on. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. We have booted into Windows. God, is it 6? Oh, good. Yeah, the clock is wrong. I was like, how is it 6:15 already? How is that possible?
We've been doing that much ranting.
Rant. Right, that has booted into Windows. We're done here.
Review, submit. Away.
I will leave that to one side to charge. Bop, 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 bop. Oh no! Oh, that charger does not fit very well because it's not designed for this laptop, but it is functional.
Excellent.
Right, that LCD is buggered, so it can
Fabulous.
go in the dead LCD box for naughty LCDs.
There we go. There is more cider.
Good. We are actually low on cider, so yeah.
There is now a Selectorama from a different brand.
Very well. James Clay, I see. Well, that would be cool. It's not supposed to be a feature of the show, but unironically, people seem to like us doing the whole cider bit. People seem to like us getting ciders, tasting them, and talking about them. I don't know why, but people seem to enjoy it. So,
Also, please pronounce this brand name.
Schofferhofer. I don't know why I went Hofer. That's more French, but Schofferhofer is how I'm pronouncing that.
Yeah.
So
I'm just like, oh, good.
that's spelled Schofferhofer. So I'm going to type that into chat just for people.
Schufferhofer?
Schufferhofer. That, yeah. There's some accents in there.
There's an umlaut on the O.
Yeah, there's too many full stops in that word. But yeah.
Schuffer.
And they've put them in the wrong place. It is German, yes. Ba-da-ba. All right, I'm going to find the next one.
Athletic Brewing.
Athletic Brewing?
Oh. Athletic Brewing is a company name. It's not describing brewing that is very athletic.
They jog on the spot while they're doing it. Right, let's see. Stream. Acer EX series. Not charging, not running on battery. Sure. Acer EX24. Acer ES. The hell is an Acer EX? I don't recognise that. There it is. Oh God, it's one of these. Oh, it's got an i5 in it. That's obviously why I decided it was worth fixing. Whenever I see this Acer chassis, I'm concerned. That's pretty grubby, but yeah, that's how it'd be in a computer repair shop.
Also looks like it's basically the same age as the Toshiba laptop I got rid of 10 years ago.
Yeah, this is an ancient chassis that's been around since the Stone Age. I pulled this off the shelf and was just thinking, what was I thinking?
What did I do?
Yeah,
Why did I do this?
I was half expecting to open it and find that it had a Celeron badge on it and be like, why did I say I would repair this? But it's got an i5 7th gen in it, so sure. We do actually have the cover for that DVD drive slot,
Okay.
but it had fallen off when the customer brought it in. But I've got it over there and I'll glue it back on afterwards. Right, this thing does not charge, nor does it run on battery, so I'm going to get a charger for it and see if it'll go.
Is that step one of your diagnostic process actually confirm the fault is what the client says?
Yes. Unironically, with no shadow of a joke, the first thing you should do is just actually confirm that it does what the customer says it does. The only time I will not immediately turn a laptop on is if it's liquid damaged or something like that. You should take it apart and inspect it before you do that. However, unless it's liquid damage, the first thing I will do is actually just check if it does what the customer says it does. So many people in my comments section be like, oh, the first thing you should do is clean it. And I'm like, okay, but if I clean this and then it has some other fault, immediately I don't know if that other fault has developed because I cleaned it or because the customer was just completely wrong. Don't touch it. Just see if it does what the customer says it does first.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you won't know if
time-
you just made it worse by trying to clean it or whether it just had some other random fault.
Yeah.
I need adapters. Oh no, they all just fell out. I do have Acer chargers. I'm just grabbing a power bank charger just because that's more convenient for the podcast bench.
Look at my Selectorama.
Yes. Yeah, this is power bank with 65 watt Type C output. One of these Witten WITRN cables that is Type C to DC jack. This just negotiates 20 volts at the DC jack, and a bunch of adapters. It's not very often that I like these universal adapter type deals. However, these are incredibly convenient, and they've actually saved me a couple of times when I've not had the correct charger. All right. Weird laptop with the charger jack on the back. Yeah, that'll do. Whoop.
How was the MacBook experience? I wish it wasn't a MacBook.
I like MacBooks.
Okay.
I see. Well, when we went to see Sai, I brought my 2014 Retina with me. And while I was using it on the Saturday, I was sitting there using it going, I miss daily driving a MacBook. You know, like, don't get me wrong.
Ah, the Stockholm Syndrome.
I wouldn't replace my desktop with it or anything like that, because obviously it was a small screen, didn't have a multi-screen setup or anything like that. But just, again, like, just the trackpad was so slick, and it was just, the screen was nice, and just, it was just a nice laptop, you know. Bang. Okay.
The only reason I use it is because it's a laptop and it was free.
Yeah. Right, we have a charge light.
Why is it there?
I mean, to be honest, I don't hate this style of laptop where, I don't know what you'd call it, but where you have this bar at the back, and as you can see where the screen opens up, it opens up with this bar visible, because that's a really good place to put all your status LEDs, because on the front, you can't see any of them, but that's visible, and when I open the laptop up, it's still visible. I actually really like this style of laptop. It's just not, like, this laptop isn't exactly thick. They stopped doing it because it wasn't very thin, I think, but I don't hate this hinge style. I quite like it.
True.
So yeah, what make is that power bank? It's called INIU. It just popped up as a cheap one on Amazon at some point. This is like 20 amp hours. And this is pretty good, you know, like, as you can see, this thing will power a laptop. 20 amp hours isn't going to power a laptop for that long, but, like, yeah, like, that's still probably the size of a typical laptop battery. What's the watt hour of this, actually, come to think of it?
90 something, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's 92 watt hours. Oh, I lie. Yeah, that's actually pretty big. Yeah. Yeah, a typical laptop is going to have a battery that is somewhere between 45 and 80 watt hours, with high-end laptops being maybe 90 watt hours, or maybe 99.
Or 99, yeah.
So yeah, 92 watt hours is pretty impressive for a battery pack then, yeah.
Yeah. I want to find, I don't know what, like, the proper name for it is.
Oh. I tried to turn it on and the light went out. Sorry, carry on.
But I want an efficient way of stepping down from high voltage to, like, USB 5 volt and USB 9 volt. Because all of the doodads and widgets that seem to exist out there seem to be incredibly efficient at doing that. Inefficient at doing that.
I see, yeah.
And, like, I ran the numbers, and a 127 watt hour battery, once passed through a one of these adapters, was only able to charge a 4,000 milliamp hour phone battery once.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, that's fair.
And I'm like, you've wasted 120 watt hours in efficiency losses because your device is operating at 140 Celsius.
Yes, that wouldn't surprise me, because, like, as Big Clive has shown this in a lot of videos where he's done a lot of power bank testing, and he's like, oh yeah, so that charge chip is running at 100 degrees, so that, you know, that's cool. And yeah, it's pretty bad. This is a no fault found.
Is it?
I did test this when the
Didn't
customer.
it just cut out?
Yeah, but I think that's because the battery was just stone flat. Okay, it's just died. Oh, yeah, maybe jumping the gun. Okay.
I was about to say, didn't it just die?
I thought it just timed out, but then
when
I tried to wake it up, it didn't wake up. I tell you, I'm just going to leave that plugged in for...
Does that give you any sort of readout?
No, unfortunately not. And my Type-C power meter, as in my portable one, is at home. And I'm not dragging the... well, actually, I could. You know what? Because I want to sit and wait, I'm going to get the Paul Daniels meter.
Yeah, because that works standalone, doesn't it? 'Cause
yeah, it's complicated. It needs USB power to work standalone, but I can figure something out. It'll be a bit disgusting, but
it doesn't. Oh, of course, it doesn't take power off of the power input.
No, it doesn't take power from the actual from the measurement source. Yeah. So it means that I'll have to have like a lot more cables than necessary. Whoop.
Yeah.
But also that means that we can actually see what the power supply is doing. This is the Paul Daniels meter, everyone, which you guys don't actually see on camera very often. You just see the software for it.
Oh, did you just take one of the little like weight things they give you for monitor mounts?
Yep, exactly. This metal weight is from the base of a monitor clamp arm mount, and I 3D printed this platform and 4 stands with angles on them. Super glued those onto there. There's some holes in there just so I could just screw it together, and bam, I've got a weighted mount for the Paul Daniels meter.
Neat.
Annoyingly, the screen on this one has gone a little bit weird, which is what that little black schmutz is. I don't know what's happened to that there. It's very strange. Like, I haven't damaged this, like, or maybe I don't know, maybe I did without noticing, but yeah, it doesn't obscure the screen meaningfully when it's on. But yeah, this is the Paul Daniels meter that generates me those rad graphs though. So, right. So I'm going to sit and plug this thing in.
There were 473 cables sitting on the bench.
Oh, this is going to be a really dirty setup, but whatever. This is why I didn't initially go and get it, but I was like, well...
I just mouthed all over your cider.
How could you do this to me?
Because I forgot I put mine over there.
Now you know how I feel.
Yep.
Yep.
Well...
However, I trust you didn't just sit there just gobbing all over it. So,
no,
yeah.
But I just kind of went, ah.
To be honest, we share a lot of airspace. I'll be okay. So yes, I will politely wipe it with my dirty jumper. However, I will survive.
It's okay, I'll now do a performance.
Performative wipe down, yeah. I'm not a germaphobe. Oh my god, this setup is going to be hideous. I need a coupler.
What?
No, I don't. I don't need this at all.
No.
Oh yeah, wait, no, I remembered how I was going to do this.
That.
Yep. Look. Shut.
What?
Right, need that. Need that. And then that goes in there. Right, and this will only work one way round. Yep, so that needs to go the other way around.
What do you mean it only works one way? Oh, what, as in through the meter, not rotation of Type-C?
Yeah. The connectors on the meter are one way round only because of reasons. It's again one of the technical reasons why there's no mass production of this meter.
Yeah. Because
it has a couple of just awkwardness. Like that was one of those things where Paul Daniels is just like, this is actually horrifying to solve in a way that is not mass manufacturable with parts that I actually want to use and stuff like that. So so it was a matter of they only work one way round, but not a big deal. All right, there we go. It is charging. It is only charging at 1.3 amps. So that's 23 watts. So yeah, it's not charging very much. But then if the battery is stone dead, it's not going to get up to full tilt yet. So yeah, where's the mouse? I'm just going to zoom down on that.
Zoom, enhance.
Boff.
Whoop.
There we go. So yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny how that's basically not visible, the smudge,
Yeah.
in person, but then from that camera angle, it basically obscures the 9.
Yeah. If I get it to a favourable viewing angle, it's yeah,
funky.
it's fine. Yeah. It is very visible though. Like
Yeah.
this is. I really like
It's a
the.
super good screen.
This is the thing again. You know, like I don't know if Paul has mentioned. Well, Paul has probably talked about it a lot when he was doing the development videos of these, but you know, he was like, lots of people are like, oh, why don't you get an OLED for it or something like that? And he's like, because just a reflective 2-line display has almost infinite viewing angles and is really cheap. Well, not infinite
Oh
viewing
yeah,
angles, but
no, because it's a modern and good one.
yeah. Modern reflective displays are great.
Yeah.
The only disadvantage is obviously you can't see this in the dark, but who's fixing a computer in the dark? You know, so it's just this is just kind of a non-issue, and for me,
I'm sure Cy would try.
well, yeah, but like if this was an OLED display, it would need to be bright enough to overcome my studio lights. Whereas a reflective display only gets brighter with my studio lights.
Yeah.
Reflective displays are incredibly underrated, but obviously you can't sit in bed in the dark looking at that.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, look how fast it updates.
The software is even faster. Like
Oh yeah,
that,
but no,
that's-
sorry, I mean the actual display. Look
Yeah.
how the display isn't slow and mushy and fadey like
Oh, I
old
see.
reflective
Yeah.
displays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, yeah, the current is increasing reasonably quickly there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I tell you what I might do. I might just push this all to one side and just let the battery get some charge into it.
It did look like it just got super upset with how discharged it was.
Yeah, I will. I think I'm
Have you got the
99%.
adapter?
I think I've got the customer's charger, so I need to test their charger, and yeah, I need to test their charger because it might just. Did I plug in their charger? I can't remember. I did test this on the counter when it came in, and
Maybe
I was
it was
just
just
like,
sufficiently level of confusion that you were just
Yeah.
like, fine, we'll book it in.
Well, that's just it. I plugged it in. It did weird things because when it cut off, the charge light went out as well, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that seems strange, you know.
Yeah.
But if that's just the way it behaves, then so be it. But obviously, just the batteries just don't flat. It might. I can't remember if I tested it with the customer's charger, but I can't see why I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Because my objective would have been to reproduce the customer's fault, so I would have used their charger. Or maybe their charger works just fine, but just the battery was just that flat that it just needed 10 minutes to run, and they hadn't just left it on charge for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Or maybe it got sufficiently messed up that unplugging it, bringing it here, putting it on the counter was long enough for it to get into a different state of unhappy,
Yeah.
and then shuffling it around.
Yeah.
No. Does it actually have that degree of precision?
Yes.
So that's true precision, not
Yes.
just displayed precision.
Yeah.
Accuracy, precision.
I'd need to
whatever.
check with Paul to check if he's like calibrated that versus an actual DMM. But the chip that it's measuring with is intended to have that level of precision.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because like also this is an
Yes,
assumption, but also
the relative numbers are that precise,
Yeah.
not necessarily that accurate.
Yes,
There we go, that's what I
yeah.
was trying to say.
because also like this is Paul we're talking about. I think if the third decimal place was irrelevant, he probably wouldn't be displaying it. I don't think. But then, yeah, I think it is milliamp accurate. But yeah, when you've got this, Duma said it's a bummer that it needs a power on another connector. Well, the way this is intended to be used is that this is the USB connection to a PC, which then gives you the graphing functionality that you see in the videos. And with the graphing functionality, you have millisecond update times. And so the reason why it gets its power from here is A, it's not drawing from here, and B, it's assumed that you're going to have USB plugged in anyway because you're using the software for the graphing functionality.
It also makes the meter readings more accurate because you don't have to account for the draw of the device and the varying of the draw on the device or the varying of the input and the output.
Yeah, that's it. Because it would also mean if it was being powered from the Type-C, from the monitor line, it would then need Type-C power negotiation as well. And that's just a bleh. Compared to
because effectively the power bank doesn't know this exists.
That's true.
Because
yeah.
this is just straight through, isn't it?
The meter is entirely agnostic to whatever communications are going on here.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is also good because that means that the meter can remain dumb, and you can plumb whatever power you want through this, and it doesn't care. It just tells you the volts and amps of what's going through there. So yeah. Right. It's also super nice that it tells you the direction of the power flow as well. It does go. These are directionally agnostic. So yeah, which is also cool. Right, I'm going to push all this aside and find something else to work on because I think this just needs a charge. So, whoop. Right, put that there, and am I going to pick up this whole shooting match and just put it down somewhere else? I think I will.
Yeah, it's something for me that seems ever so slightly surprising with the rate of charging speed increase on mobile phones that we haven't seen a similar thing on laptops, because just a full charge on a laptop battery is still 3 hours, 4 hours sort of thing, and we haven't seen, you know, kind of race to get 15% charge in there kind of thing.
I'm assuming that's just simply because you would need to put in a extravagant amount of power because, like, for a mobile phone, 65 watt charging is bonkers. There's higher than that, but 65 watts would be bonkers. Whereas on a laptop, 65 watt charging is pretty standard issue.
I was just meaning more, you know, with the fact of obviously like 240 watt Type-C now being standard. I'm surprised no one's kind of gone, our laptop only needs 100 watts.
Yeah,
but it supports 240 for a burst charge.
Yeah, the problem is you need a charger that's this big to do it.
Sure, they don't have to sell it with it, but they can just say it has this feature. And I'm surprised in the way that no one's, as of yet, kind of tried to start marketing off of stuff like that.
Yeah. Right.
Although I did find it slightly funny when I was looking at the Apple website for, I think it was the M3 Pro. All these flat surfaces.
Shut.
And they were selling the Mac with, like, I can't remember what it was. It was like a 22 watt charger or like a 30 watt charger, and then saying standard speed. And then they were selling it with a 45 watt charger and saying fast charging.
Yeah. Yes, like, your $2,000 laptop only comes with a 45 watt charger. The 65 watt is optional.
I was just like, oh, come on.
Get bent. Right, Acer ES1, reinstall Windows, keep photos only. All right, well, we're pulling the drive out of that for backup.
We're snapshotting the entire sodding thing because I don't believe you.
Yep. If a customer ever tells you, I only need the documents folder, back up the whole sodding drive. Because they'll be like, oh, I had all of my documents on the desktop. I had a folder on there with my documents in it. And you're like, that's not the documents folder.
It is. It's the folder of the documents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple 45 watt charger, £150, please. Oh,
is it?
I don't think so. I think that actually I think the Apple chargers are not. They're expensive, but they're not bonkers. If my memory serves me. You know, like I think they're 60 or 70 quid, but for Apple pricing, that's not really that bad. Yeah, Sleep was being sarcastic, but still, it would be interesting to see what the going rate is.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, don't look at the adapters. The adapters are eye-watering.
70 watt USB-C power adapter, 70 quid.
For 70
Why is
watts?
it 70 watts?
I was going to say, 70 watts is a bit of a weird number. Also, look at the size of it, though. You know, like it is super compact.
Yeah.
I bet that doesn't come with a cable, though. No, of course it doesn't.
Oh, no,
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't sell Apple Type-C chargers in here. When people come in, they say, "Oh, I need a new charger for my Apple laptop," and it's Type-C. I'm like, "Yeah, here's a Dell Chromebook charger. It is 65 watts. It is Type-C, and it's £30."
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. And,
that's
and
charge only.
And it's a nice charger. What, charge-only cable?
Yeah, charge. Well, I
Oh,
presume
yeah.
it's a charge only 240-watt cable because it's 30 quid. And if it wasn't, and if it was data as well, that'd be suspiciously cheap for Apple.
Yeah. 30 quid.
Just because their Thunderbolt cable is 75 for 1 meter.
Oh.
Would you like to buy a 500 gig mobile SSD for 80 quid?
500 gig mobile SSD for 8. Oh.
Wait.
This game just makes me sad.
Belkin make a MagSafe adapter for you to connect to your Apple device that doesn't include a camera, so you can put your phone on there and use it as a camera.
I see. Let's see. Firephone says, what degrades a battery more, power cycles or always on AC? I mean, technically it's both. Oh. Well, that wasn't plugged in properly. That might have just slipped though. Technically it's both. Talking about depressing laptops. But I think always on AC does more harm than power cycles.
I think it does it faster.
Yeah. Yeah, like obviously cycles will catch up with you eventually. If you put 1,000 cycles into a battery, it's goosed.
But it's also a case of like 1,000 cycles on any reasonable device is going to be 1,000 days.
That's it. Yeah, and like that's what 3.5 years if you cycle it once a day.
2.5 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's I think if someone did a full charge cycle every day for 2.5 years and then the battery was worn out, they would probably say, well, you know what? I have drained and recharged this every single day for 2.5 years. That's not unreasonable.
Yeah.
And at that point, 1,000 cycles is going to goose the battery. And I think, you're going to be hard pressed to put more wear and tear than that into a battery in any kind of reasonable sense.
Yeah.
Like expecting a computer to last when you're putting 2 charge cycles per day into it, I think that now you're asking for an unreasonable demand.
Yeah.
You could make something that would do that, but you're now talking about a very heavy workload that's not something that should be expected. However, yeah, sitting on AC, that can knacker a battery within a couple of months.
Yeah.
Like months sounds like a long period of time, but also if a laptop just sits on a desk plugged in all the time, which is very, very common, then yeah, there's lots of people who have a brand new who've bought a new laptop and it just sits on the desk plugged into the laptop to the mains for the first year of its life. Battery's knackered within a year, and they're like, oh, it's only a year old. I'm like, have you ever run it on battery? And they're like, no. And I'm like, that's why the battery's knackered.
Yeah. Which MagSafe is this?
That's MagSafe 2. The battery port is on a daughter board. Yeah, there'll be a. This is simply because they can use the same motherboard for multiple sizes of laptops, and they can just fit in the appropriate daughter board and cooler to fit. So yeah, this is a 15-inch laptop, I think it was, but there's probably a 13 or 14-inch version of this somewhere around, and they'll have a slightly shorter one that goes to a different battery. So yeah, always plugged into power, gaming laptop. Yeah, exactly that. Gaming laptops are extremely vulnerable to this because no one runs them on battery because they don't last on battery. Why did I take this apart? Hard drive.
To image the drive.
Yeah. All right.
That's pretty natty.
A Type-C to MagSafe 2 adapter. Yeah.
That is literally basically the size of the connector.
Yeah. Yeah, that's neat. Yeah, that's very neat actually, because I might actually 10 quid. I might pick one of those up because my solution to that is this guy, which is just a Type-C to MagSafe adapter. This is how I This is how I plug in most MacBooks in the shop.
Yeah. The only
however,
reason as well is that was 15 quid on
Oh.
Amazon as I was scrolling, and this was £10, and I was just like,
Yeah,
yes,
that makes sense.
£5 less, and it's neater.
Yeah, and this can be annoying because every time I want to use this, I have to unplug my Type-C cable to plug in this one instead. Whereas with that adapter, I don't have to unplug that cable from the Paul Daniels meter. I just put the adapter on the end. So yeah, I should probably pick one of those up at some point.
Yeah.
If nothing else, just have another one because this has been really, really useful. This has been a solidly good purchase. So yes, very good. Right, I need to take off at least the bottom adapter of that. Hello, Shelley. Indeed, it's spinning rust. I'm not a fan of it either. Whoop. Let's see. Houston, we found a mechanical hard drive. Yeah, doesn't bode well for the rest of the spec of this laptop. 4 gigs of RAM. Wah, 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 wah. Might try and upsell the customer on an SSD for this. Because they're probably asking, they probably want everything erased off of it because it's running slowly. Because I'm surprised I didn't interrogate them on this when they brought it in, actually. Because when a customer comes in and they say, can you just clear everything off of it? You have to then say to yourself, why do you want me to clear everything off of it? Is it because you find that the laptop is slow? If so, in that case, we should start asking the question of why is it running slowly and how can we do that? Clearing everything off of it will help with slow performance. But in this instance, this laptop isn't slow because there's lots of stuff on it. It's slow because it's got a 500 gig hard drive and 4 gigs of RAM. And reinstalling Windows isn't going to solve that problem.
No.
I'm going to back it up anyway because even if we do put an SSD in it, we still need a backup. So step 1 remains the same, but I need to talk to the customer about this and be like, what's your actual plan with this laptop? All right. Okay, I'm going to put all of this to one side. I'm going to find, whoop.
I'm going to find look, a convenient container.
Behold, with the power of this, I can rearrange the compartments to fit other parts in there as well. Hashtag not sponsored. Probably should have gotten sponsored.
I will sell your products.
I
Do you
don't
know
even
a
know
mobile
the
game
brand.
I've really been enjoying recently?
Sorry?
Do you know a mobile game I've really been enjoying recently?
I need to decide what I'm streaming tomorrow. I think
Shadow Legends.
I'm going to start the Outer Worlds tomorrow. Because I don't have
Have you
any-
actually checked that you
I have got
it?
it. I have got it.
Have
Yeah.
you installed it?
No.
Okay.
But I will
Also, be prepared for the performance to be abysmal.
Really?
The
Why?
performance on the Spacer's Choice Edition is poor.
Oh.
You will not be able to run Ultra at 1440p. You do not have a 4090.
I mean, I'm not asking for Ultra when streaming anyway, but yeah.
You will be looking for mixtures of low and medium.
Oh, that's a bit naff.
The performance is poor. It will require some setup.
Fair enough.
So I'm giving you fair warning.
Message received. I will not YOLO it. I will pre-test. All right, I'm going to check on the Acer. Right, the Acer's up to 1.37. I think it's worth trying to turn this thing on again. That must have put a couple of % into it by now. I mean, it's not charging very fast, but it must have put a couple of % into that battery by now. It's certainly taken 20% out of the power bank. Whoop. Right. Oh, it just cut out, but I think that's just because I disturbed. Yeah, it's because there's a very poor connection on this charger.
Will you go in?
Yeah. There we go. Annoyingly, whatever angle I put this at is catching a reflection to the camera, which it doesn't to me because I angled it so I would not have reflections, but the camera is seeing reflections. Right, bam.
Single-sided versus double-sided RAM. in short, it doesn't really matter. It depends far more on what brand of memory chips you have on it, what the specification is of all of the other bits, what the SMP spec is and so on. So you'll need to be picking through all of those. Basically, what you'll probably find is you're using some there'll be a reasonably low density memory IC on a reasonably high capacity stick for you to get dual rank memory sticks. It doesn't overly matter. Have 2 memory sticks. You're fine. Basically.
I'd very much like for a lithium-powered devices to have an option to only charge the battery to 80% or so on the regular. I agree. Like, mobile phones have had smart charging for quite a while now, and I wish just all devices would give me the option to just lock off 80% as maximum charge, unless I say otherwise.
Excuse me, I'm just going to...
Yes. Right, we've got
16%.
We have 16% indicated on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do command, and I'm going to do power CFG battery report. So power CFG dash battery report, and that's going to spit out a HTML file.
Interesting.
Which I will now open, and that will tell us some information about the battery. So, right. We have got a slight name on this, but yeah, the owner's name is Ben. I'm sure you can track them down from that information. So, yeah.
And their hideous number of Discord pings.
Right, let's see. So, we don't get a lot of information from this because, it's not a battery analyzer. Like, it doesn't tell us the cycle count. The number that is interesting, though, is the full charge capacity. So, design capacity, 49 amp hours, 49 watt hours, sorry.
Yeah.
Full charge capacity indicated is just shy of 40 watt hours. So it's dropped whatever percent of its full capacity that is.
18, 20, 27%?
27%. Is it 27%? That's a lot, yeah. Someone...
no, it's not. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's about that.
Yeah. Someone do a percent calculation for me because I'm feeling lazy. What percentage is 40 of 47?
Yeah, 22.5.
Okay, so the battery then, in that case, the battery is at 78% health.
Yeah.
Now, that sounds reasonable, but 78% health is actually pretty knackered by all accounts.
Yeah.
32%?
It depends on which way around you're looking at the percentages. Are you talking about percent lost, percent change, or... Because obviously the numbers are different numbers.
Okay.
But in other
percent
words...
remaining of the original number.
Yeah, but in other words, it's a big amount.
Yeah. Yeah, either way, this battery is screwed, is what that tells me. Because, yeah, with battery health, a lot of people be like sort of, 80% sounds pretty good. It's like, if you're down to 80%, your battery is basically shot. It might still hold a decent amount, but you can expect to see significantly degraded performance at that health level. So yeah, like for example, Apple laptops, they throw up the service battery indicator at anything below 80% health.
Yeah.
That's the indicator for service battery. An Apple laptop considers the battery to be significantly degraded at 80%. So yeah. Is it better to disconnect the internal battery if you're using your laptop as a standard PC? That's not a terrible idea.
Charge it to 50-ish%.
Yeah, charge it to 50%. Don't store a battery at full or flat. You should store it at 50%-ish. However, yeah, if you're literally, if you're looking at a battery and you're like, this is never going to get used, it is going to sit on a desktop, then yeah, disconnecting the battery isn't an awful idea. It's not something I recommend to people. Usually, when customers ask me these questions, I usually say to them, once a month, unplug the charger and just drain down the battery and then recharge it again. and that will just drastically improve the performance, the longevity of the battery, just giving it a cycle once a month. But yeah, of course Apple do. Yeah, but also they do that for a reason, because at 80%, that's when you can expect to see significantly degraded performance. They're actually on the money, this. And an 80% battery isn't dead, but it is significantly degraded. You know,
Yeah.
it's not unreasonable to say that the battery is going to be significantly lower than what it should do at that point. So yeah.
It is, well into that I would be replacing this category.
Yeah, wow, there's a lot of battery history with this. Windows has been logging since 2021 on this. However, and interestingly, it's gone up and down a bit. So back in 2021, there was an indicated 42.7, then it's had a couple of charge cycles and gone up to 44.5. However, there's then been a very slow decline over time. Either way, it's down. Battery life estimates, those are going to be pie in the sky numbers. Yeah. So
I enjoy the fact that it's 4 hours, 45 hours, 5 hours, 2 hours.
yeah. This is the thing. The battery report. When I originally reviewed the NLBA battery analyzer, a lot of people were like, "Oh, you just do battery report, and that'll tell you that." It's like, well, this is the battery report. I can tell you straight away, my battery analyzer tells me an awful lot more than this does. Speaking of which, I need to do a re-review of that because I have a shiny new one. However,
What would plugging that battery into that report to me now,
for a start,
without cycling it or anything,
Yeah.
what would it tell me live?
for a start, I would get cycle count,
Okay.
and also, very importantly, it would tell me individual cell voltage levels.
Ah, yes.
And that is really useful data, because if you see that one cell is noticeably lower than the others, you know that that cell is probably the one that's dying. And if one of the cells has majorly degraded, that will tank the whole battery.
Yeah.
You might have a decent amount of capacity in 3 out of 4 cells, but if one of the cells is knackered, the whole battery is shot. I don't care if your other cells are at 100% capacity. If one of them is down to 80%, the whole battery is shot.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do individual cell replacement, but
Yeah.
don't, basically. So yeah. People are looking up BIOS builds. Yeah, we could do a BIOS update on this. Not super interested though. You can use hardware monitor to see wear level of a battery. That's interesting. I've not really looked at that. I think I've seen that at some point, but let's check that out. That sounds fun. Let's look at that.
Have you got a hardware monitor?
I have a hardware monitor. I can't get. It's not going to be the latest version, but it's not like this laptop is. This laptop is 2016, so.
No, I just meant, do you have hardware monitor as opposed to hardware info?
Oh, I
Last
see.
time you had hardware info.
I might have both. I've definitely got hardware info, but I mean, I've got a hardware monitor there. Yeah, hardware info gives you more information than hardware monitor. So anything that a hardware monitor shows, hardware info would show as well. However, hardware monitor is an awful lot more readable than hardware info. I actually vastly prefer hardware monitor, but hardware info is just more verbose.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see if this tells us interesting stuff. We've got wear level at 19% apparently. So yeah, that's something. It does also give us an exact current capacity number, which is actually slowly increasing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something.
Of course it is. It's
Yeah.
2 cores.
Yeah. It doesn't give us it doesn't give us a significant amount of new information, but also that's faster than doing a battery report if you're actually servicing computers. You know, that's told me more or less what the battery report did by just plugging in my toolkit. So yeah, that's reasonable. How to find battery report HTML. I'll show you guys that again just because it's interesting. So for that, bring up a command prompt. Let me zoom in. Or hang on a sec, can I? No, I can't.
You can make the font bigger. You click on there.
Edit.
And then properties. And then
Cursor size font.
And then change the font size.
There we go. So There we go. So that what I did was power CFG space dash battery report, and that will spit out that report file to username / battery report.html. So, as I say, this is not super verbose, but this is built into Windows. I didn't have to plug in anything to get that information. That's just stuff that's in Windows. You can do that on any computer, and it will just tell you an approximate state of the battery. I would take all of the info in there with a pinch of salt, because that's just what Windows gets from the computer. But it does, the important thing is it allows you to have it's a barometer. I use that word a lot these days, but also it's a really good way to describe things. It gives you a 30,000 foot overview of the battery. Like if you do a battery report, and it tells you that the design capacity is 49 watt hours and the full charge capacity is 10 watt hours, that has instantly told you that the battery is completely goosed.
Yeah.
And you should just rip that battery out immediately, Whereas if we have concerns about the battery, if the full charge capacity is like 48 watt hours out of 48.9 watt hours, that battery's in pretty good...
snapshot should be started.
Yeah, do a snapshot, please. Yeah. At that point, that tells us that the battery is fine, basically. It's just flat. So this battery is in poor health, but also it does function. So yeah. For science, at this point, I'll just unplug the battery because we've got an indicated 25% now. So we should get reasonable performance out of this thing.
Which drive is it D?
D drive,
backups?
yeah. And call it Acer EX. Acer EX will be enough for me to find it. Run that as administrator. You don't even need to run it as admin. If you run it as admin, it dumps it in the Windows folder somewhere. But if you run it as a local... Oh, I think if you run it as admin, you get more info, actually, don't you? Let's try that. Now you got me curious. Do you get more information if you run it as admin? So that one spat it out into Windows System 32. And no, we don't get any additional information. So no, you don't have to run it as admin. Running it as admin basically means it spits it out into the Windows folder instead of the home folder. So yeah, is this possible to do on XP laptops too? Maybe. This isn't a new feature. This has been in Windows for quite a long time, but I couldn't tell you when it was added. How's the Acer going? The Acer seems to be fine. The battery just seems to be flat. I think the battery was just critically discharged and the customer just hadn't actually just charged their laptop. But the thing is that sometimes laptops will behave strangely if the battery is stone flat, and a customer will interpret that as it's not working instead of actually just leaving it plugged in for at least like 10 or 15 minutes before you actually try and start it up. If you do actually drain a battery to absolute zero, then yeah, it's going to need 10 or 15 minutes to recover the battery before the laptop is actually happy. So yeah. Windows 10 1903 onwards, really? Is it that new? Like, I thought it was in Windows 7. XP I would be surprised, but I'm fairly certain it was in Windows 7. So yeah, don't forget to do a hibernate off. Yeah, I can do. I don't do that unless I have a reason to. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I do that when I'm recovering storage, but that's another thing. That's a rough guess. No, it was in 7. Citation needed. This laptop is fine. I'll get the customer's charger and I'll see if their charger works. I think that's the customer's charger because it's an Acer charger with an AC lead on it. Right, this is 45 watts. What's the rating on this laptop? I don't actually know if this thing has a hard drive in it. It probably does. Because Sag. Ooh.
Also,
Oh, yeah.
it's 7th gen.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not like it's 11th gen.
It's a
onwards.
45 watt laptop and hard drive. No, it's got a Samsung SSD in it. It has been upgraded at some point. I was going to say it doesn't feel like it has a hard drive in it. But yes, it is a 45 watt laptop, so this 45 watt charger will suffice. You know, that might explain why it was only charging at like 1.3 watts.
Yeah,
It's actually just, yeah.
1.3 amps.
Yeah, sorry, 1.3 amps, yeah.
It's on the back.
I hate these things. Oh. Well, I think the customer's charger is knackered, everyone. It's gone to sleep, however, this light is not coming on. Yeah,
Oh no, that is plugged in.
yeah. I'm just going to plug that into the energy meter that's on the wall next to me as well. Yeah, that's 0. That didn't even flash anything when I plugged it in. Normally you see, when you plug a charger into an energy meter, like as in, like one of these things, when you plug a charger into this, you should see a spike as you get inrush. As the charger actually comes on, it'll spike and then go down to 0 again. However, it didn't even spike when I plugged it in. So yeah, customer's charger's broken. That's why their laptop doesn't work. So
Is it the AC? Is it the actual cable?
I will check that just in case. It very rarely is. So I think the reason why I got caught out with this is when the customer, what would have happened is the customer would have brought in this laptop, I would have plugged in their charger and it wouldn't have worked. And then I would have plugged in my charger. I've got this one in my hand now.
Oh,
then,
that's a different one.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I would have plugged in my charger and probably would have seen the charge light came on, pushed the power button, and then it all cut out, which is what it did when we started earlier on.
Yeah.
And I would have said, oh, that does look like it's faulty.
Yeah.
Hence why we're here. But, well, it was the AC cable, everyone.
Yeah.
All right then. Literally just, this is why you test anyway. I was literally going, oh, it's never the AC cable. Just change the cable. Like, I was saying that, but I did try another cable. So
It's like when you're having network issues. Always replace the sodding Ethernet.
yeah.
Replace the Ethernet before you start tearing all of your hair out.
Yeah.
Make sure the cable isn't completely busted.
Yeah. Fuse. It's never the 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 fuse. What has happened to this then, out of interest? Since we're here?
Doing a science.
Yeah. No continuity on the live pin. Oh, sorry, on the neutral pin. Oh, hang on a sec. Nope.
There was something there.
Neutral is fine. Yeah, no continuity on the live pin.
How bizarre.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, now it's decided there is. I think I just didn't have the probes correct. No idea. I guess we should change back to that one and do a control test, because maybe the charger's intermittent?
It wasn't organic, vegan electricity.
Yeah, cord snapped inside. Oh yeah, it might be a weird cable, and just if you bend it at a certain angle, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it could have a break inside.
Yeah. See, it's not working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dunno. Plug it into the known good. Charge. No idea. New AC cable. Job's a good one. Charge them £100. I'm joking. I'm not going to charge them £100. I'm going to charge them 200.
No, it's £60 diagnostic fee.
No.
It's £60 diagnostic fee.
No, it's not. No, not for that.
Plus £25 parts.
I can't charge £60 diagnostic fee for a faulty Mickey Mouse cable. Right. However, I'm just going to shut this down properly because we're done here.
£60 diagnostic fee, £20 parts.
No. No. You capitalist pigs. All right, there we go. That has turned off. Now the user can play more League of Legends. Yeah, they're already being punished enough. They're a League player.
Exactly. That means you can charge them top dollar. They're already used to paying. And clearly they enjoy suffering.
Oh. Right, what's next? Right, HP 17 clean trackpad. You know what? Let's do that because I need to get that done. Whoop.
Why is your trackpad unclean?
So, HP laptop trackpad is not tracking properly.
It's a big one.
Jitters or something like that. And this often happens because humans are gross and you get sweat and grime and all sorts goes down the sides of the trackpad, and it can make false input on the trackpad. MacBooks are extremely vulnerable to this. And the solution when that happens is to take the trackpad out, clean it, put it back in again, and it'll be fine.
It's a reasonably nice looking laptop.
HP Envy, yep, it's nice. Customers had a world of problem with this laptop. It's not been a good behavior, but hey, it's a HP. So yeah. Oop, no BIOS update. No, it's on the Acer. I don't care. Who cares?
Here's a new power cable. Give me a £5 and I'll be happy.
I was going to say, if he wants a BIOS update, then it is going to be £60 for a service. It's just like, yeah, no, like stuff like that. You do it for a £5, but no, you don't get a service for that. If you want to pay me £60, I'll service it and I'll update the BIOS for whatever difference that makes to an ancient Acer. It's a 2016 laptop. Who cares? You know. So. All right. I got to take this thing apart. What's the timer on? We are on
2 hours 33.
Yeah, I'll get this one done, and then I think that'll be 3 and done. I think. Yeah, this has been opened before. I have opened this up before. I don't know why it's got tape on the back of it. I didn't put the tape there. Maybe it didn't stick down very well, so the customers taped it on. Unless the customers tried to put it. Don't know. Either way, I'm gonna have to peel it off. Yeah. Oh.
Off.
Ooh.
carrot stick.
I hate sellotape so much. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. We're on our way. Here we go.
Woo!
That was half of it anyway. Freaking hate hidden screws. Big same. I hate it the most on HPs because they haven't even hidden all the screws. Like, why hide half the screws? If they hid all the screws, I wouldn't mind, because then at that point you can be like, okay, you wanted a clean look, fine. That's annoying, but I understand it. But why would you only hide half the screws? That just makes no sense at all.
So you break it.
Okay. There we go. We're cruising again. Oh my! Oh, this tape is awful. This tape is maddening. I'm not even sure why it's there either. Like, that's not falling off. That is stuck down.
Perhaps they didn't like the rubber,
Maybe.
and it just stopped it sliding nicely on their desk.
I mean, yeah, maybe they wanted to be able to push it around. Yeah. Like, usually when rubber feet have come off, it's just because people are terrible and just push against rubber feet. And I'm like, please lift it even just slightly. This is 3M. I don't even think it is. I think it's knockoff 3M tape. I doubt 3M tape would tear like that. Well, citation needed, but... oh my god. Oh god. I could have picked a different one. Odin, give me strength. I'm okay.
Are you though?
Oh, I nearly had it. I nearly had the whole thing. Okay, we've got enough. We have enough. I can break into this laptop now. Right. I'm going to get a prying tool.
I'll tell you my trick for this once you've finished. Sigh. I was like, thanks, Sigh.
Right. I've taken off as much as I'm going to. What's your trick, Si? And also, pro tip, when we dig under these rubber feet, make sure you get the actual adhesive as well, not just the foot. Trick is to soak it in turpentine. I mean, I'd just
Absolutely
get out.
not.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd use isopropyl if that. My trick is to get someone else to do it. Oh, got 'em. You're so witty. Whoop. Bin HP, get latitude. It's true.
You should, I was going to say, instead of selling someone an SSD, you should just sell them a new Latitude.
For the HP, unironically, not a terrible idea. Yeah.
So notice your laptop has not enough RAM and a hard drive, and
Well,
it's crap.
that's
Here's
the-
a Latitude.
Yeah. That much being said, though, it does have a 7th gen i5, which is not great, but it's not abysmal. And, you know, so service, 60 quid. SSD, 60 quid. So that's £120. Another 4 gig. Oh, no, it needs to be an 8 gig memory stick, so it only had one slot. So call it £150. That's still half the price of a refurbished Latitude. So, like, I in the past, I would have, I don't know. I think because it's an i5, I'm inclined to give it the benefit of the doubt. But on the other hand, also that Latitude is going to have a wildly better screen and another 2 cores that are 2 generations newer. Well, no, actually 1 generation newer. But
yeah, and like 25% faster.
yeah,
core,
that's
probably.
true. Yeah, yeah, that's a difficult one actually. It's kind of borderline. I'll offer it to them. I'll offer it to them. Let the customer make a choice at that point. Decent SSD will make a big difference. Yeah, it will need the RAM as well because 4 gigs of RAM is just, again, not enough. But whoop. Levering against the hinge because I'm a terrible person.
The hinge is made out of feta cheese.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Don't be afraid to rotate the device to make it work for you.
Also, remember to actually take out all the screws. Where is my T5?
What? Why is there a random T5?
Because it's a HP. Is it actually a T5 or am I blind? No, yeah, it's a T5. It's probably a T6, but yeah, T5 will... Yeah, no, it's a T5.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather screws be Torx because Torx screws don't shred. But yeah. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I did kill a clip just then. Not gonna lie, that was my bad. I'm surprised that didn't let go then. That was extremely stubborn. Bloody hell, what is holding on there? I gave it GBH because like any other laptop would have let go with that. Oh, come on. This is the point where you stare at it and you go, there's no other screws there, right?
Lift up the back and look in.
It will be a clip. There are certain clips where just, they will hold on to the bitter end. It's unbelievable. And it is just a clip, but it just doesn't want to go. Oh, come on. Frickin' hell. Okay, let's try. Oh. God, those front clips are vicious. Oh. I can't put much more force in it than I'm already putting into it without doing damage. Because the problem is, this is an aluminium frame. Like, I'm putting in bendage there that I'll have to press back in. What is holding on? Oh, you can't slide against a clip. Ah, there we go. Right. Who is holding on there? Yeah, it's just a simple clip. There we go. Bonkers. Sometimes you just get a clip like that that just doesn't want to move, and then just suddenly that clip goes and everything follows it. Ugh. That requires a generous bend. There we go.
I've used our patented flattening technology.
Hey, it works, you know. Right, what was I doing with this trackpad?
I don't know. Think I know what's going on?
Panel beating time. Oh, that was horrifying. Something, this is why we don't do live repairs. You fully sliced your finger the other day on the bottom of a Galaxy book. Oh, rough. Yeah, that's why you've got to be careful about giving it your all.
I think you still have screws in that battery.
You've got screws in that battery.
Spittle.
Iron filings. Whoop. Right. Huh. All right. One battery. That's a very long boy.
And it's 17 watts.
Well, it's okay. That was spittle. I'm not gonna lie. God damn it. Yeah, only 55 watt hours.
In a 17-inch laptop.
Yeah, like considering how like
That's
long that battery is, you're like, how is that only 55 watt
It's kind of
hours?
depressing that it's a
Yeah.
17-inch laptop and they couldn't fit in a decent battery.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to Two Guys Talk Tech, where we just shit talk everyone's laptop. Tell us what model laptop you have so we can shit talk it.
It's not like my glorious MacBook.
Yeah. We use real laptops.
Pulls out a suitcase with a friggin', Atari.
Yeah. I want to switch on that Apple II that came in, or that Apple Classic II, and just see if it actually starts and runs. Because I'm low-key possibly excited about that. I don't know how rare that one actually is. Customer brought in a couple of old Macs earlier on, an iMac G3 and an Apple Classic II. And the Apple Classic II, I'm like, that might actually be kind of a big deal. Here come the old ThinkPad stands. Oh no. Yeah, I ain't a ThinkPad fanboy. Alright, so trackpad is out. It doesn't look particularly dirty to me. I think this laptop is just bad. The customer has had nothing but problems with it. And yeah, like, it doesn't look dirty, but I'll clean it anyway. And we'll just see if that does the job. Right.
Oh, there are two types of Apple II?
No, yeah, this isn't the Apple II. This is the Apple Classic II, I believe.
Apple Classic II sold as seen, therefore probably faulty.
Yeah.
£280.
Interesting. Yeah. Like I wouldn't sell it. Like
Apple Macintosh Classic II. Bid starting at 300, no viewers.
it's really hard to put a value on these things because it's not that they don't have value. You just need to find someone who values it, if you see what I mean.
Oh my God, £900?
Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't think anyone's actually paying 900 quid for it.
£1,500 with 10 watches. What?
Oh, now you've got my attention. What have you got under sold listings?
Oh.
Your laptop is bad and you should feel bad. Yeah.
Oh no, it's the colour one. Never mind.
I mean, I don't know what that one is.
The black and white one.
Do you know it's a black and white one?
Yeah, because it's not got the colour. It's not got the word colour.
Oh, I see. Oh, it's a black. Oh, interesting. I didn't realise they were black and white.
Not the black and white one, but the non-colour one. Because there's the classic one, and then there's the classic style with the word colour written on the front.
I see.
And a much bigger bottom unit, like 4 inches taller.
I see. Might be that it's got like a floating point unit and they can afford to have, 16-bit colour or something like that.
Yeah. Sold £65 plus £75 postage.
Bloody hell. Yeah. I take it none of them are selling at £1,000 though. That's the thing. Because if it's selling for £1,000, not going to lie, that's a very tempting prospect.
Power board, 200.
But
200?
yeah,
No, 23
my
pounds.
intention was along with the iMac G3s I've got was to donate them all to the computer museum if we go there this summer. That was my plan. Well, I need to check with them actually, but before we go there, I wanted to talk because when Katrina comes to visit and we do the visit to the computer museum, I intended to contact them in advance and be like, hey, is there some kind of collab we could do maybe? But if nothing else, I wanted to call them and say, I've got these iMac G3s and now this Apple Apple Classic 2. Would you guys want this? You know? And if they go, yes, absolutely, then I can be like, cool, I'm going to come and donate this stuff to you then. And we can do a cool video where I go and make a video about looking around the museum and be like, yeah, I've got these old Macs that I'm donating while I'm here. I'm so philanthropic, you know.
Yeah, £100 to £200 seems to be a slow sell rate for them.
Yeah, okay, so no, they don't have a meaningful value on eBay then.
Yeah. Someone sold an analog board, whatever that is, for £350.
Interesting. Probably has more value as parts, but man, I wouldn't part it out unless it were broken. That'd be a crying shame. I mean, unless it is already broken, as I said, don't even know if it works. Right. Okay, so what I've done, I sprayed a little bit of isopropyl alcohol onto a cloth, and you can see I've just gone around rubbing around the edges, trying to get my fingernails in just under the edge. Be careful not to snap bits off. Now I'm going to do the same to the bay, as it were. So I shall spray some more alcohol on here, and I'm just going to rub around the inside edges, basically.
I honestly thought you were going to go for a different word choice there.
Sometimes I get my words right.
Sometimes I think about what I'm saying.
Yeah. Be careful not to make an innuendo. I'm always careful not to make an innuendo. I don't need to look at you, Caradog. I can see you in the preview. Mancave Hobbies says he's got an Apple Lisa 2. Ah, now you're getting onto the hardcore ones. Yeah, the Lisa 2, that's an actual valuable one, I think, isn't it?
What's the Lisa 2?
I don't know my vintage Macs very well, but I know the Lisa was kind of a big deal, and so by extension, the Lisa 2 will be a big deal.
Can you have a lifetime ISA? That's not what I meant.
Like, by comparison, the last beige box Mac I had was an Apple LC2, and that was just like, that was an educational model. And it's kind of the same with the Classic 2. I think that was like one of the low-cost, accessible ones for schools. So they're not actually that rare. Whereas the Lisa, that was actually a personal computer kind of thing.
Lisa is a desktop computer developed by Apple, released on January 19, 1983.
Lisa was the first one with the GUI.
Considered the first mass-market personal computer operable through a graphical user interface.
Yeah. This is the one that had the really famous unraveling, I think. Oh, not according to that picture, maybe. I think the Lisa 2, like there was one of them where Steve Jobs did a really famous keynote where like he took the cover off of it and it had voice synthesis that says, "It's so good to be out of that box," and applause from the thing and stuff like that. I think that might have been the Lisa 2.
Oh my God.
Because it wasn't that one that was in the picture there.
It weighed 22 kilos.
Damn, bro.
Oh, I see, it had an integrated screen. Right, never mind.
Yes. I'm surprised at how little that Classic 2 weighs. Whoop. Go to the auctions in my area, southern Indiana. People go ape crap over that stuff. Interesting. Yeah, we don't have a box or anything, although I've got the Mac that you super loved. That was an iMac G4 that I've got the original box and accessories for. And again, got to take that to them. That one might be one that the museum is interested in because I have box and accessories and manuals and stuff.
Yeah.
Which means it's far more interesting from a preservation perspective. But again, they might turn around to me and say, yeah, we got like 10 of those in the back room. You know, we don't, thanks, but we don't really care.
Ah, yes. I do love my recursive backronyms.
What's a recursive backronym?
A backronym is where you make an acronym effectively backwards. You come up with a thing and then make up an acronym for it.
We want to call it the Lisa. Let's call that the low income super anamorphic.
Yes.
You know. And it's like, yes, sure. You just wanted to call it Lisa, so just call it Lisa.
Yeah, and then a recursive one is a acronym that acronyms the acronym. Like GNU.
Oh, is what's GNU again?
Oh no, sorry, or is it wine?
Yeah, I was
no,
going to say
sorry,
wine.
I meant
Is
wine.
wine stands for wine is not an emulator.
Yes, which is a recursive acronym.
See, yes, because you can,
Yes.
because it contains itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, I hate it. Although, in a way, it kind of makes sense for wine because a lot of people find that very confusing. It's like, well, no, wine is not an emulator; it's an abstraction layer. Also, I think I've completely forgotten which way around these screws go, and I think the silver flat ones go over here. No, that's still not going in. I've got something wrong there. Am I just blind? It's because I've got that upside down, I think. Because it goes in that way up. I'm a tomfool. Twain, technology without any important name. Is that actually what Twain stands for? Because I'll actually be angry if that's true. I mean, I suppose wine is just as unhelpful, but at least it actually is referential to what it does, whereas Twain is actually a very important driver. Let's see. Core Solo. We don't talk about Core Solo. Core Solo can die in a fire. Well, it did, but Core Solo was definitely the start of Apple going wrong. Whoop.
I was going to say, I've certainly heard that before, though. Just
What,
Twain
Twain?
being technology without an interesting name.
Yeah. Did that go over there? Well, it's going over there now. All right. Right, put this guy back together.
Also, Twain being a pronoun for two.
Yes. Yeah, that might be a
The common, usage of it, of something being cleft in twain.
Yeah, there might be a reference to that. For those of you who don't know, Twain is used as an image transfer driver, I guess. That a lot of old cameras and scanners used Twain as their common driver / protocol. Like, what's the name of that printer drive? PostScript. Twain is the imaging equivalent of PostScript. PostScript is for printers. Twain is for scanners and cameras.
I mean, yes, but also PostScript is predominantly for Apple and Adobe format documents. Everything else is used as PCL.
I suppose, yeah. I encountered a lot of PostScript when I was at one of my jobs, but then that was an Apple environment, so yeah, that goes without saying.
Where
Whoops.
the fuck did that screw go?
I'm also very worried because the battery's connected, and you don't want to be dropping screws when the battery's connected. Oh, I've spotted it, and I'm going to tweezer that out. Whoop.
I fixed your trackpad, but your speaker's fucked.
No, I fixed the trackpad
And haven't put the cable in.
Thanks, folks. I mean, I would have noticed that when we started it up. I would have been like, oh, it's not working. Oh, God, why doesn't it work? Bloody HP. This is what happens when you buy an Envy. You take the trackpad cable out and then the trackpad doesn't work. What a piece of crap.
Fix a trackpad by not connecting it. Yes. The trackpad cannot be broken. You see, we've upgraded you to a new Bluetooth low energy trackpad. The trackpad only functions 10 seconds after getting to the Windows login screen, once the device is paired. So, hiring better staff when?
I can't afford more, so. Or floor lamp for that matter. That's kind of an interesting thought experiment, actually, is let's pretend I could afford their wages. Who do we know in the community that would actually be like, yeah, I'll come and fix laptops in your shop, you know? All right.
So I will pay more.
So it's like, I've got dibs on where, so yeah. Right, there we go. As a special treat, I've put in all of the connector cables.
Next week, Caradog tells people to fix their laptops just by buying a good one. I hear you've got problems with your laptops. Have you considered buying a Dell XPS?
I don't know how much I like XPSs.
For only £1,500, you too can own a premium Dell machine.
Ugh. Bam. Right. Yeah, that is still on. No idea if the battery's charged on this.
Laptop tier list. Everything. F.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Latitude. A+.
I mean, I'm not gonna be a super. Well, I don't know. Actually, like I was about to say I'm not gonna be a super Latitude fanboy because there are plenty of Latitudes. Like there are plenty of Latitudes that are just as much of a ball ache as any other laptop. Checksum is invalid. That's because I disconnected the battery.
Why is my checksum invalid by disconnecting the battery?
Because it's a HP and it doesn't have an RTC battery.
But why would the checksum be invalid?
Because it's reset. So I need to get the. I need a PIN number. Stand by.
I need a personal identification number.
Shut. Oh, I don't think I've got a PIN for this.
Oh, why don't you just search the tickets for the last time it was in?
That's actually what I'm doing, yeah. It has not been in. Okay, it was last year it was in.
Sai says the pin is 5493. If it is, so help me.
Sigh, get out of my head, sigh.
Charles.
No, Charles, get out of my head. Oh. Why don't I have... No, I just don't have this guy's PIN number. That's annoying. Okay, well, in that case, oh my God. I just opened up YouTube. Yeah, it's finished now. I opened up the YouTube thing on the thing and it went brr. Right. Okay, I'm just going to sit and check it, I guess.
I mean, that seems fine.
Yeah.
Other than the screen refresh being horrifying.
It's a HP, yeah.
Sorry, the pixel response. What is that pixel response?
HP.
HP, please. Yeah. Also, that trackpad doesn't feel great, but it functions.
I mean, when you move your finger very slowly like that, none of them feel great, I don't think. But if you actually try and move around, if you try and dart, that feels fine to me. I should have checked it before we started, but also, like, I don't think we're going to be able to do a fair test because stuff like this can be incredibly intermittent. And really, what I'm going to need to do is just say to the customer, I cleaned it, go away, tell me how you get on with it. Basically.
I cleaned it, go away.
Yeah.
I mean...
And see what they say.
I mean, see how it is.
No, I need to immediately use the bathroom, so I shall return.
Okay. Very well. Congratulations on demicrophoning.
Yeah, I instilled a greater sense of urgency than was required there, but...
I must leave! Now chat, you have me. Edit the passwordless in current version with LoadHive. Or give the laptop back to the client and say, we've cleaned it. Please see how that goes. Because ultimately that's all it is. Install the trackpad driver and be like, I did everything apart from replace it. I mean, yeah, true. Oh my god. Ah, yes. How do you know my secret password? That's the password for the nuclear codes. Have you guys ever turned on a customer's PC and thought, now I have to call the cops? Luckily, no. Luckily, that's never been a consideration or a concern. But also, like, I've never gone looking through people's files because, you know, I wouldn't want someone looking through my files, so I try to not look through other people's stuff. And, yeah, I have lots of times had to kind of change people's wallpapers when I was fixing their computers and just be like, oh, that's a wallpaper I can't leave open in the shop. That is a picture of your children playing in a paddling pool. This is absolutely fine for you to have as your wallpaper on your laptop at home, but this is not something I can have open in the shop.
Yeah, that's actually a thing that I have to do whenever I have like work experience students in. This is a conversation I have to have with them when they start in the shop and just say, by the way, if you ever see wallpapers that fit the following descriptions, change it to the default. As soon as you see it, just immediately just change it. Because, yeah, we cannot be caught looking at that, no matter what the reason is. Yeah. That's not a conversation I ever want to have with anyone, you know. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, that trackpad seems to be fine, but as said, we'll need to give it to the customer because... again, I see this problem a lot with MacBooks and it can be extremely intermittent. It can seem absolutely fine, but then after like an hour of use, it suddenly feels squicky and things like that. So usually you kick it back to the customer and you say, take it away, tell us how you get on with it. If you're still having problems, bring it back in and we'll look at it again free of charge.
Yeah.
So, good. All right. I'm going to shut that down. All right.
Also, is that screen like 900p or something?
Possibly.
That looked frankly meh resolution.
I don't know how old this laptop is. Does anyone know their Intel badges?
I mean, Sai does.
Yeah. Hang on, where's the bench
Why
cam?
don't you just search the model number?
Sai. What gen is that? Whoop. Sai says, I do, but he doesn't tell us the answer. That's very helpful, Sai, thanks.
He's probably got an hour of chat delay.
It's a 2017, apparently. 2017... it's not impossible that it's 900p, yeah.
That's horrifying!
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It might not be a 1080p screen. Yeah, and that is horrifying. That's 10 or 11. You reckon? Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? The model number has been covered up by some idiot putting the foot across it.
Damn it, Graham.
Oh, no. Oh, the sticky stuff is sticking to the bottom of the laptop, not the rubber.
Yeah. It's
a 17-CH0500.
HP Envy laptop with an i7-1165G7.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, size on the money. It is newer than that.
Apparently it comes with a 1080p screen.
Yeah, oh, it's 1080p. But then that's 1080p at 17-inch, which is, and if the scaling is on like 125%, then at a distance that's going to look low res.
Yeah.
Like obviously, if we'd looked closer, we'd see that the pixel density is actually very good, but at a casual tissue. At a casual glance, you could be mistaken for thinking it's low res. But yeah,
900 quid for the 13th gen or the 13700H version, which comes with DDR4.
yeah. I mean, I haven't seen a single DDR5 laptop yet.
But it's the 13700H. It's like the decent.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
13700.
Oh, I see. Yeah. If it's a 13th gen, then yeah.
Yeah. I'm not complaining that the 11th gen comes with DDR4.
Yeah, that's what I
Because
thought.
the 11th gen
Yeah.
only came with DDR4. I'm complaining that the 13700H in a £900 laptop is DDR4.
That's why I was confused.
No, I'm not complaining that my 2011 Mac only has DDR3L in it.
Yeah.
I'm occasionally somewhat reasonable. How dare you? In other news, why doesn't every laptop have a 240Hz OLED screen? Come on.
MSI Katana 15 is DDR5. Ah. Are they using any is there a standard for socketed DDR5 other than Dell's weird thing yet? Or are they all soldered?
So, SODIMM.
Is there a SODIMM DDR5?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It only goes up to 5600 though.
Yeah. That's not awful. Like, it's not great, but
I mean,
yeah. For a laptop, like laptops
fine.
Laptops usually don't have high-speed RAM in them.
It's okay.
Oh no, I mean actually, like DDR4 3200 is reasonably easy to find in laptop format. So yeah, we're not asking for a lot there. Yeah, that's fair. Tape the feet back up? No, I refuse. Customer can do that.
just apply duct tape. Just
I'll just get the fragile tape that you do boxes up. Just cover the entire bottom of the laptop with fragile tape. So you put it on the counter and it just slowly slides off. What did I do that with sometime? I got a phone at some point, and when I put the phone on my countertop, the new fresh glass on it was so smooth that it just slowly started
wasn't that
moving.
an issue you were saying about with your iPhone 4?
Might have been. I had a phone at some point with a glass back on it, and it was so smooth that when I put it on the countertop, it would just slowly move around on the countertop on a cushion of air. And I'm like, stop that,
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Caradog, the rarely reasonable one. Yes.
Yeah. Captain tape. Yeah, if I wanted to take these feet down, I would use Captain tape, because Captain tape isn't horrifying like this stuff is.
Is Kapton a brand?
Kapton
Or
is a
it
brand, yeah.
Style. Okay.
Yeah. However, what's the term for it? Like for example, duct tape is actually a brand, but it's also just known as a style of tape.
Yes. Duck is a brand of tape.
Duct is a style.
Is also a separate style. Yes.
Yeah.
And Duck makes a duct tape.
Fair enough.
Yes.
However, also Hoover is a well-known term for a vacuum cleaner, even though it's actually a brand name.
Yes.
What's the word for this?
I can't remember.
Damn it.
It's
Useless to me.
it's when a brand becomes the generic name.
Yeah.
Like Xerox.
Polyimide or polyamide film?
Polyamide film.
Polyamide.
Used in flexible printed circuits and space blankets. Yes.
Spacer technology. Good. All right.
Oh, of course it's DuPont.
DuPont.
Of course
Oh,
it's
interesting.
DuPont.
Oh, okay. So the brand name is DuPont, and DuPont make Captain tape. I thought Captain itself was it is a brand of sorts, but I didn't realise. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Cool.
Oasis. Hold on a minute. I don't want to drink this tape.
I see. I think I've enjoyed this conversation in English.
Mostly.
Mostly.
at night.
They mostly come out at night. Mostly. What film is that from?
It's not. It's from South Park.
Yeah, they must have been referencing something.
Probably.
Yeah.
But also, like, South Park.
So where is
that's my sum total.
where is
knowledge
that
of
from? They mostly come out at night. Mostly, because because Cartman said that in South Park at one point, which is how I know it. But he was obviously it's aliens. Really? Oh, fair enough.
I haven't seen any of the Alien films.
No, I haven't.
I've
must
seen
say.
one of the Alien versus Predators,
Yeah.
or maybe like Alien 73,
I've
whichever one it is, where they like land a ship on the top of a pyramid.
Yeah, I've seen lots of clips, and like I've watched videos that have referenced sections of Alien explaining why it was a masterpiece and stuff like that. So I know it's a very good movie and everything, but I've never actually sat and watched them. Just horrors just isn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, is Aliens the first one?
I think Alien was the first one and Aliens was the sequel.
Ah, okay. Also, no, not Stargate, Psy. Although, yes, I realise they also did that in Stargate. But no, I'm talking about the Alien versus Predator one, where they land a ship on a pyramid at the end of a film because they're done fighting the alien or something, and then they take some human sacrifices somewhere.
Wasn't that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
Man, imagine if Indiana Jones made a fourth film.
Oh man, that would be really good. They should make a fourth Indiana Jones film.
Yeah. Do you know they're
And they-
making a game? Presently,
Oh,
an Indiana Jones game.
okay.
People seem mildly hyped.
Interesting.
I am interested. It's possibly LucasArts making it as well. And if it's
Oh.
like 1983 LucasArts, I'm interested.
I mean, it's not going to be the same LucasArts as the original LucasArts. It's just a
No.
team that has now called themselves LucasArts.
Yes,
But
I realise I don't mean the same
Yeah.
people. I mean if it's of the calibre.
yeah,
You clod.
yeah, that might be interesting. It would be
Exciting.
that's going to give us what would potentially be a Tomb Raider style game that isn't Tomb Raider, which would be very interesting.
Yes.
So yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Dementia.
Aliens isn't a horror movie, it's more of an action film. Yeah, I suppose to a certain extent you could call it a thriller because it's more about tension, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we have conversed thoroughly.
We have conversed in English and some people may have enjoyed it.
Yes.
We are leaving. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Oppenheimer is really loud. This is true. Right, I'm going. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. See you all next week with something else. I will be, if you want to hear more of my dumb voice, I will be streaming Leave on Twitch tomorrow
I don't need to hear about your Twitch.
at Sivon Pum and stressing the wrong syllables. Twitch tomorrow. Maybe the Outer Worlds, otherwise Caradog will explode. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you all soon. Goodbye. End stream.
You are signed out.
Please no.